What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talking Ball. It's Colin, and joined today by one of my new best friends, Chang. What is up, dude?
Hello, everybody, and a very happy new year to all Lily White fans all around the globe. I cannot thank each and every single one of you enough on this beautiful Sunday, whether it's the morning, afternoon, evening, or even night over here in Asia for tuning in. Thank you first and foremost for even spending your time on the first day of 2024, the new year, the first day of the new year. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, Talk and Ball, please do so. It costs you absolutely nothing, and smash the like button on your way out. If you watching this live, or even if you're watching this on playback. Back to you, Colin.
Boom. You are the man, Chang. Gosh, you're awesome. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Called in Chang last minute, everybody. And he shows up. He's here. He delivers. He's helping save the day. So everybody give it up for Chang. We got Jose in the chat, though, saying Happy New Year to you all. May you all be blessed with health, happiness, love, joy, and laughter. And couldn't have said it better myself, man. Maybe I'll add in there and Spurs wins. As many Spurs wins as possible. But no, Jose, thank you. I hope you have a great new year too, and I hope you get to feeling better soon. Yes, and a very big thank you for your support. It means everything to us. Thank you, everybody, and Chang, you as well. I wanted to add too that this is a dual stream, so if you're watching it on Talking Ball, head on over to El Tel Hakbaro and watch it over there too. And Chang, you want to just kind of get into? We have a win to talk about. That's always fun. It's always fun.
Yes, we do, Colin. So 24 hours earlier, after the final whistle of our last home game of the calendar year 2023, where we have now registered, or rather not registered, sorry, we are now 1 point behind fourth place Woolwich, despite not winning a single league game for the whole month of November. Is just that takes some doing. Yeah. Let me get this straight. And looking at the season ahead and what to expect from Spurs, despite even more depleted squad now, with Son flying off, with Sarr potentially injured for God knows how long, with Alejo Veliz apparently, I think it was some kind of ACL tear. ACL, he pulled his ACL or he did something major to it. And until the physios and the medics come back to us on that, we have no inkling or no clue as to how serious that injury is. But all I can say is I'll start off with the pre-match, the squad leading up to the game itself. Seeing Rodrigo Bentan-core in the starting 11, not even on the bench, he made it to the starting 11. I personally liken that, or that had similar vibes as the Van der Vaart deadline day transfer signing under Harry Redknapp to me. I saw his name and I was thinking I had to double check and triple check and even quadruple check to see if the Spurs admins got that name wrong, because there was absolutely no clue. There was no inkling. There was no foreshadowing. Nothing. It just appeared out of the blue, like a bolt of thunder on a clear sunny sky. And wow, did he marshal that midfield the way he did upon returning?
Yeah, we were all afraid. We were all afraid that maybe after both injuries, he wouldn't come back as the same player. But yesterday, he showed that even with 1 week's training, just 1 week of training, he was ready to jump right back in and show us that same performance level that he was at before the injury. So, yeah, man, it was
right back because this is what I also alluded to on my debut on Talk and Ball about a fortnight ago in the preview to the Everton home match, in which Mr. Jose Garcia predicted that Bentan-core would be our player of the season. And my question back to Mr. Garcia on my debut then was, would we still see the same Bentan-core if he were to come back ahead of schedule, and will there be any sort of niggling after effects for having been sidelined, in the medical bay for so long since his last consecutive appearances with the team? And boy, did he prove me wrong. I cannot wait to see more of him for the remainder of season, provided he doesn't get hacked down, or it doesn't get chopped down by any of the
Cough, Matty Cash, cough.
of any of the opposition players.
Yeah, 100%.
Right now, looking at Pape Matasar's injury, again, he's going to be a doubt for us if he even does skip, or rather he forgoes the AFCON. Lo Celso and Bentan-core, these two players will be very pivotal now for this next few weeks, let alone few months. I'm talking about the next few weeks, especially the upcoming home FA Cup tie. That's going to be on Friday. It's Saturday morning for us Asians here, but I believe over there in America and over in the UK, it's going to be Friday afternoon, Friday evening, maybe Friday night for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 p.m. for me. Let me check.
Yeah, so that will be something to look forward to, and this will be a big test for Big Ange, because we saw all of us saw the debacle that was Fulham away in the League Cup, and here's hoping that Big Ange doesn't make the same mistake twice and just get a bit too complacent and too comfortable with picking the bench warmers to start that game. I wouldn't necessarily give Dane Scarlett a start just yet, even though Alejo Veliz will be out for some time. Seeing Dane Scarlett on the bench would be good for him, as will Elfie Dorrington and also Ashley Phillips. That is provided they don't make their home debuts in that FA Cup home tie. I'm not going to speak too soon as to the extent of any other niggling doubts that we may have leading up to that FA Cup tie. All I can say is now the ball is firmly in Daniel Levy's court as to what he's going to do with in the next few hours leading up to our home game. Because if there was a better time right now, more than ever in the 2 decades that Enoch and Daniel Levy have been in charge of Tottenham Hotspur, this is his best, and I would say a very glorious chance for him to redeem himself if he can get us. I would say not really a major signing or even a marquee signing, at least a stopgap. Not really. I can't say stopgap. A significant enough signing that would warrant a good turnout for him to be unveiled, either before kickoff or during halftime. Get a significant signing that will excite the home fans, and the home crowd will be looking forward to his unveiling before kickoff or during halftime.
Yeah, for sure. And you've heard probably that we've got personal terms agreed with Dragison, right? Before we get too far into that, I've missed the chat's going to get away from me if I don't get back to it. We got Ash, of course. This is going back a bit, saying Happy New Year to Colin, Chang, and chat. Ash, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for everything that you do. We got Audio Artisan in the house. Been here since day one. My A1 since day one. Audio Artisan, big up, dude. It says, afternoon, chaps. Happy New Year. We've also got Fred in the house. What's up, Fred? Good to see you, man. Fred says, hello, guys. Hello, Fred. Hope you're well. Happy New Year to you, my friend. And then we got Daniel E in the house. And Daniel E's got a different opinion than us, Chang. He says, big up, first of all. Big up, Daniel. And then he says Bentan-core has definitely been rushed back. Yeah. You can tell he's not 100% fit. So yeah, do you think that's the case? I mean, he didn't look very rusty to me. Obviously, he looked tired. Let's say that. So maybe that's what I can say, is that he looked like he might have been a little bit like fatigued. But I don't think he looked like he was like carrying any injury still. You know what I mean? To me, he looked injury free, but just didn't have enough stamina to play the entire match. Is that how you saw it, or do you think he's still maybe hurting from that injury?
Well, okay. With regards to Bentan-core's performance and the shift that he put in terms of his technical ability and his way around the midfield and the way he grew into the game throughout the half. I believe the first half he played the full first half, and then the second half he did about 20 minutes or so before he was subbed off. He didn't look fully fit. To be fair, he looked off the pace. But in terms of his passing ability, the way he recycles possession and how he brought the rest of the team to play in and around him, he hasn't lost any of his technical know-how to pull the strings in midfield. And I thought that would be very, very, very pivotal, seeing as Sarr is going to be sidelined for the foreseeable future with the possibility, and this is just a possibility mine, with the possibility of Højbjerg, who is almost certain to start again on Friday. No respect to him, Queen Ellie. Queen Ellie, if you are tuning in, absolutely no disrespect to Pierre. I absolutely adore and support any player who dons lily white, regardless of your nationality, your demographic, your religion, whatever your background may be. I fully support any of these players, but will Bentan-core and Højbjerg be able to bring together the same kind of levels of performance we saw yesterday against Bournemouth at home? Remains to be seen. In Big Ange we fully trust, and whoever Big Ange feels that day will get our full support, regardless of who they are. So, with regards to Bentan-core, if he is fit and if he's going to play the full 90 minutes come Friday in the FA Cup, I really do hope that he has been able to get back his stamina, pick up the pace a bit, and I just hope that he doesn't pick up any more niggling kind of strains or injuries.
Yeah, for his sake. Yeah, for his own sake. Let's just hope that his body, you know what I mean, holds up for the rest of the season and he doesn't get pushed back anymore with injuries. Everyone in the chat's agreeing, though, that he was just tired. Spurs Live, Josh is in the house. Bentan-core just needed some minutes under his belt again, but surprised he played over 50 minutes. And then Daniel saying, yeah, obviously he's not injured. You can just tell that he looked rusty and sluggish, and would have thought Ange would have introduced him as a sub. That makes sense. And I kind of thought so too. Real quick, Rakesh is in the house. Rakesh, big up, dude. Glad to have you here, man. Always good. We've also got Josh saying that Sarr and Bentan-core together look rock solid, and that's 100% a fact. But I have this little thing where I feel like everybody that plays next to Sarr looks better than they do when they don't play next to Sarr, just because Sarr does so much work. I'd like to see some stats. I'll probably try to look them up because I'm lazy and I haven't before the show, but he does so much running around on the pitch. You know what I mean? Like, that man is constantly moving. Whenever we put Skip in for Sarr after Sarr's injury, you could just, the entire dynamic of the match changed. You know, Skippy, I have to say, but Skippy's, I don't think he's good enough, man. I don't think he's good enough.
With regards to Pape Matar Sarr, I know exactly where you're coming from because, and I am going to quote Ben Daniel from We Are Tottenham TV here, and he can copyright this phrase of his if he wants to. Ben Daniel has come onto We Are Tottenham TV multiple times, claiming that Pape Matar Sarr is somewhat like a Duracell bunny. Those sort of like stamina and bounce and leaps of energy of infinite levels of energy, just constantly box to box, never never even stopping for a gasp of breath, or never even trying to catch a second wind after sprinting up and down the touchline or down the midfield as he may be. And Pape Matassa, if he is to be sidelined, just as Bentan-core was for the past 3-4 weeks, he is going to be a massive loss and a big miss. Make no mistake about that. I have absolutely no illusions as to how big a miss Pepe Matassa will be in the midfield, and I really do hope that this is the one pivotal moment that we get to see Pierre-Emile Højbjerg step up to the plate and rise to the occasion for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, just do it for us one more time, man. One more time. Do it Friday. We'll let you go. But no, I just feel like you were saying, Sarr is so much better than Skippy. And Skippy, I need to not really dog on him as much as I do, but I don't think that he's good enough for Spurs. And I know that sucks, and it really isn't a good feeling. And he did so well in the championship. I think he could have himself a wonderful career in the championship, and maybe even for a lower level Premier League side. But I think for a team pushing for like the positions we're pushing for, it's just, you know what I mean? It's just not going to work. Ben Kaufman's here though. He says, "Happy New Year, everyone! Happy New Year, Ben the Cough. Big up, dude. Happy New Year. Hope you are well, mate." And then we got Lee Smithy Smith in the house saying, "Big up, guys. Happy New Year." Lee Smithy Smith, my man. What is up? Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Hope you're feeling good. He hasn't been feeling awesome. And then we got David Clark in the house from Leicester. I've been Richarlison's biggest critic, he says, and I believe he's not the future for Spurs, but I must give a player praise when deserved. Richarlison, out of possession, was fantastic. I saw a lot of people saying that. Did you agree, Chang, that he did a lot of the, especially with Kulu out, his hold-up play was really good, I thought, Richarlison's. I thought Richarlison stepped up in ways that he doesn't usually. You know, it was really cool to see.
Can I just quickly? I just need to quickly point out that Richarlison, after his operation or his surgery to the nether regions, his first touch, his ball control, his layoffs, the simple 1-2 plays, the flair, you know, the samba kind of flair the Brazilians are so renowned for. All of that is coming back. But if there is one thing that I could just nitpick about his play yesterday was his finishing. That was the only thing I felt that really let him down. Other than that, we are sort of seeing the same Richarlison that set the World Cup alight for Brazil slightly more than a year ago over in Qatar. So I would say that Richarlison is still bagging the goals, regardless of what people may say of his finishing. 5 league goals in 5 games is nothing to sneer at. Let me just make this very plain and clear to any of our fans, any of the doubters, any of the rival fans, the haters who want to, you know.
Are there strikers doing that?
Yeah, for anyone who wants to make a meal out of us having to sell Harry Kane a few days prior before the start of the new season. I'm really expecting big things from Richarlison right now, from now to the end of the season. I really do hope he doesn't fly off to the Midwest, no, not Midwest, the Middle East, sorry. I really do hope Richarlison isn't tempted by oil money over there in the Middle East. And with Alejo Veliz out for the foreseeable future, we are going to need Richarlison more than ever now. But having said that, I would still sanction another centre forward incoming if that is on the cards and if that's within Enoch and Daniel Levy's budget to do so. But what can I say? Richarlison, thank God he's finding his form now. 5 goals in 5 league games. Again, no mean feat. And long may it continue.
I was going to say, it brings me to one of the banners I already had, so I thought I'd pull it up now. But Richarlison bags another. So has he finally turned a corner, do you think? Do you think this is... So I guess what I'm asking, do you think this is just a period of really, really good form? Or do you think this is actually like the level that he can play at? You know what I mean? Do you think he's getting a
Okay.
bit lucky, or do you think this is like actually what we can expect from Richarlison going forward?
So this actually brings back that age-old cliche, as in form is temporary but class is permanent, and Richarlison has been class. Put it this way, since even before his Everton days, and if this is the rejuvenated or the reborn Richarlison Phoenix that we're seeing rising from the ashes, from his limbo with his growing injury. Again, I cannot understate just how pivotal Richarlison will be uh, for the foreseeable future for us. And if this is the best of Richarlison, or rather, if this is just the beginning of what Richarlison is all about, I simply cannot wait to see uh, what kind of number nine we bought for 60 million pounds from Everton. If he's to reach the kind of levels that Son and Kane have been striving for ever since they made their debuts for Spurs.
Yeah, and I always remind people. Well, actually, there are two things I wanted to say. We were talking about 5-5 for Richarlison. What other team strikers are doing that? I don't even know if I don't even
I
know
believe
if
I believe Solanke was. I believe Dominic Solanke has like 6 goals, 6 league goals in 5 league
okay.
games, if memory serves me right. But for the rest of the other forwards, I have to check my stats for that. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare that in advance, so we could always look that up. Or if anyone in the chat is so kind as to give us some feedback as to the other forwards in the Premier League who have scored
Yeah,
uh,
I just don't think. I
more
guess what
than
I'm saying, I don't think that Arsenal are doing that. I don't think that Chelsea have a striker that are doing that right now. I don't think, you know what I mean. So these teams that are all ragging on us for losing Kane and for having no real striker. Well, our striker that you guys have been making fun of is outperforming yours. So I love it. Love that. Long may it continue. But yeah, Richarlison, I think he's turned a corner personally. If you've ever had a groin injury, it's hard to walk, let alone kick a football. So like the fact that he was saying that he was having to not even take shots as hard as he could, the fact that he was having to hold himself back. I mean, that you get in your own head after a while too. It becomes a big thing. So I'm really glad that he got that fixed, and it makes me wonder though why Spurs have a lot of players that need surgery. Have you noticed that? A lot of our injuries, even if they seem rather like small at the time, the players will put it off and be hurt for a long time and then finally go get a surgery and then be better. I don't know. Maybe they need to look into those surgeries quicker. But that's a whole other conversation.
if you will permit me, I think I might just need to add something to this.
Please
There
do.
is
Yeah.
there was something there was this message that I saw making the rounds on social media as to how our medical department and our physios and just the whole backroom staff have been treating injuries and dealing with these sort of problems. Uh, Jose Mourinho himself said it best in our All or Nothing documentary with regards to our somewhat, I wouldn't say incompetent, but maybe not up to par, not up to standard medical staff at this level when you're competing at the very top and trying to fight for honors, not only domestically but in Europe. And it was, I believe it was Conte himself. Conte himself also came out in the media in a press conference saying that we had physios and medical staff keeping injuries uh, behind his back without his knowledge, and that just doesn't bode well for me. I mean, maybe maybe this medical staff, they had their reasons for doing so. Either they were trying to protect the players, or they were trying to protect whoever it is who is giving this executive orders, or making these executive decisions for them, not at their own free will. But yeah, I think if you look at the history, Son having a niggling injury that needed surgery. Eric Dyer purportedly also had a long-standing issue that also required surgery of some sort.
Harry Winks.
Harry Winks as
Harry
well.
Winks
Yep,
ankle
Harry Winks
injury.
as well too. Yep, good spot. Before Harry Winks was sold to Leicester. Yeah, so there's a good callback to that. So yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe it could even be Daniel Levy meddling about. It could even be Enoch or Joe Lewis giving specific executive orders to our medical staff to not disclose any of this, so that these players make a certain number of appearances to gain some sort of bonus for the club or finances. Who knows?
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to tell, but I really hope they wouldn't be putting players' like futures and careers at risk just for stuff like that. But you never know. When money's involved, crazy stuff happens. That's for sure. So yeah, and Daniel E put in here, and he's saying it. In fairness, it was Benny who picked up the ball from that horrible pass from Neto, the Bournemouth keeper, for Sarr's first goal, 100%. And that was an awesome play. I love seeing a pressing Spurs team. We don't do it nearly as much anymore, but watching the whole team press yesterday was absolutely phenomenal to see. And yeah, yesterday was great for me, Chang, because although it wasn't a beautiful win, although we didn't win, 6-0 with hat tricks from, Son and Richarlison, we fought hard and we won a game that in the past we might have lost. You remember Sir Alex Ferguson and his United team that won all those accolades.
Yep, winning ugly. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't mind. I know that the game, to some people, they'll say that we played terrible yesterday, but that's fine. If you can play terrible and win, and I don't say terrible isn't what I would say. I wouldn't say terrible, but some people would. But if you can play badly and win, I think that's wonderful, because then what's going to happen when you play well?
Especially when you look at our past results prior to this, especially in that 10-game streak that we went, the first 10 games of our league season, where we went on a tear and didn't lose a single game for 10 straight games. I believe it was 8 wins. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 8 wins and 2 draws from the first 10 games.
Correct.
Even now, looking back at those first 10 games, it would be very difficult for any of us to actually nitpick one particular game in which we didn't play that well, but we still managed to grind out the results. The Liverpool home game comes to mind. The home game against Sheffield as well comes to mind. All those last minute winners, and the away game. And this is going to be a surprise. The away game at Luton as well, when Bissouma picked up that needless, very, very reckless and needless red card.
Yeah.
No one actually looks back at the performance. They just see the 3 points. They see that we have gone unbeaten again for how many games in a row, and that is all that matters. And regardless of where we finish at the end of this season, we are just going to look back at the results, the score lines more like, and just think to ourselves, oh, we won this comfortably, or we just won this by a solitary goal, and it may have been a game of fine margins. But unless you are really that, hard up on the statistics and just how comfortable we win our league or our league and cup ties, for us, we just want to be entertained, put it this way, as what Big H has brought back to N17, and long may that continue.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. It's just a football. We want to see good attacking football, and we're seeing it, and I'm very happy. We've got all kinds of other awesome people in the comments. So before I lose everything again, Edward Y of Oz said, "I'm glad Richo fixed his family's jewels. It must have irritated him." Yeah, can you imagine? I can't. Like I said, anytime I've ever pulled my groin muscle, like any muscle there, it's hard to even walk up the stairs. You know what I mean? Let alone run. So yeah, here's Scott saying Richarlison's trash. Has yet to score a goal for Spurs. That a 3-year-old couldn't have also scored. Also is terrible off the ball.
Okay.
Get that 3-year-old into our team right now. Sign him on a 25-year deal. You know what I mean? We'll take him.
Are you aware, Mr. Colin? Are you aware that I was led to believe that Scott M is actually just a parody account? that you're not supposed that we aren't supposed to take Scott M too seriously, but that is just supposed to be a parody account. I'm not sure how much truth there is in that, but looking at this,
I know Scott. He's a very, very good person and a good friend of mine, but I don't believe him here. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this is incorrect, but you know, it's everyone's got their own opinions, and that's fine. And if you're not a Richarlison fan, that's okay. But I think at some point you can't discount. I mean, it's like that season where Kane was scoring a bunch of goals, but a lot of them were like easy goals. It doesn't matter. They still count. You know what I mean? Like, you still win the Golden Boot with those. So, you know, just big love, Scott. Glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Smash a like, you know, do all that stuff. And again, everybody, this is a dual stream. So this is on both Talking Ball and El Tel Cockero. So if you could make sure to flip around, like both, subscribe to both, Jose and I would really appreciate it. And oh yeah, so Talking Beer, he's talking about what window he wants now. He says Dragusin or Tobito, Jimenez, and then Manu Kone. I've never heard of that guy. Have you? Manu Kone? That the third name there on that list? I'm gonna Google him.
Manu Kone. Is this a midfielder? I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, I'm Googling it too.
Manu Kone. This is a name that I have unfortunately not heard of before.
He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach in Germany, and he is a midfielder. You were right on the midfielder part.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Kone is his, but everyone calls him Manu. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about the kid, but I hope that he's great, and I hope we get him. It's funny, Chang. In the middle of the park was like one of the areas where we weren't short on players. And now we've got like these injuries coming in, you know what I mean, and players being suspended. But yeah, so do you think we need to bring in another midfielder?
Okay, before we talk about bringing another midfielder, I have to quickly bring up this tweet which was just brought to my attention on Twitter, or X as it's called right now. This is a post. This is a post by Pape Matar Sarr.
The man himself.
Yes. Yeah, he posted this about 20 hours ago when your stream with Mr. Ian Meth ended yesterday. This post,
thanks again for helping me, Ian.
The post that Pepe Matar Sarr posted is that he would be appearing at the AFCON for Senegal. So Pepe Matar Sarr seems to be fit to travel with his Senegalese counterparts for the AFCON. So maybe his injury isn't as serious as I originally thought. And if that is the case, maybe there isn't that much need to bring in a new midfielder, provided, and I'm going to caveat this, provided we do not sell Pierre-Emile Højbjerg over to Juventus.
Yeah, if he goes, somebody's got to come in. You're right there.
All right, exactly. And also, seeing as how Bentan-core has been rushed back in ahead of schedule, I'm not sure whether you saw this, Colin, but there were a lot of video clips doing the rounds on social media of James Maddison going from player to player, Spurs player to player prior to kickoff. While I can't tell if he's match fit, but he looked very assured on his feet, like he isn't too far away from being back with the team and also the squad for training. So we have to take into account Bentan-core is back. Pepe Matar Sarr is going to the AFCON, so his injury isn't as serious as we think it is. We still have Oliver Skip. As I said, James Maddison is coming back very soonish. And there is also Yves Bissouma to look forward to in February, provided there are no more setbacks or no more
red cards.
No more red cards, please. Bissouma, we have enough of those. We have those in ample supply this season. Let's just have a red card-free second half of the season, if you may, please. So we have quite a packed midfield, and the only way I can see us bringing in any more midfielders is if we ship one or two out before the end of the January transfer window.
And Skip will never go, as he's homegrown, and we need him for the numbers. So Højbjerg is the one who will go, and Højbjerg is the one who's pushing for first team minutes, and So yeah, he'll go. You're right there. Horbier will go, most likely at least. But yeah, so talking beard, that would be an amazing window. I'd be happy if we got one of those players. But when I was talking to Ian yesterday, everybody, he knows Postecoglou from the Celtic days. Ian follows Celtic, very closely, and he told me that like as soon as the first window that he was there opened, they announced like 3 players. Like the day the window opened, they're like, okay, hey, we're getting ready to sign X, Y, and Z, and sign them. And if I don't know what Levy's assured him of. I don't know what promises he's been made, but if we get players in quickly like that, I'd say if we get players in this first week for him, I'll take it all seriously, and I'll realize that Daniel Levy is also taking this all very seriously. Do you think
with regards
to transfers?
With regards to bringing in players early, this actually brings to mind, if you recall last season during Conte's first full season in charge, at the very beginning of the transfer window, it was like Fraser Foster first, and then that was followed soon after by Ivan Perisic. And after Ivan Perisic, I believe it was either Richarlison or let me see who else. There was another player amongst that pack. Was it? I think it could be Udogi. I think it was Udogi. Udogi was announced, but then he was loaned back to Udinese. But what I'm alluding to here is, if the next season, as early as July or even August, if we could bring in the kind of players that Big Ange needs to seriously challenge next season and beyond, I would really love to see a repeat of that transfer window from last season, whereby Conte just got all his players lined up, and it was just like day 1 you get Fraser Foster, day 2 you get Perisic, and then day 3 Richarlison, and the pigeon the pigeon teaser at the top of the
I remember that.
Yeah, the pigeon teaser at the top of the skywalk, the dare skywalk thing. That is the best that we can hope for. But until that happens, all we Spurs fans have to look forward now is the coming days of this transfer window that has opened for about 12 hours now.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I'd forgotten how good that transfer window was for Conte. So thank you for reminding me. And yeah, hopefully a repeat. I mean, I think we'll see. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, but I think we'll be pleasantly surprised this January. Also, just wanted to say we've got quite a few people in the house. So if you have not yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe, head on over to Jose's channel. Also, this is a dual stream. It's also on LTEL Cockerel. Please head over there and like the video as well. Subscribe to that channel as well. We love bringing you the Spurs content, and thank you for supporting us as we do so. And thank you, Chang, again, for spending your hours with me doing this. You're a good man, sir.
You're very, very welcome, because before the show, we did speak briefly in the back room of StreamYard before we started. I absolutely could not have imagined just how big of an impact being on United Spurs of America's first ever member call-in would have on my life, and also on my sleep time. I would gladly do any show by anyone, given the opportunity, given the chance, given the invitation. You name the time, the day, the hours. If I have to talk from my construction site, as what I did 2 weeks ago for United Spurs of America, or even back home from my bedroom on my debut, and now here in my hometown of Malacca here in Malaysia, away from the capital, Kuala Lumpur. Anywhere, anytime, whether it's abroad, I would gladly do it. So thank you for having me again. Thank you. Truly, thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. I promise. So we've got all kinds of people in here talking about the medical staff. And you saw Ash's comment here. She said, you won't say it, but she will. Fire the medical team. incompetent, and there's a lot of people talking about the medical team in here. Ben Kaufman, people telling me I should be on the medical team. I don't need to be a medic to tell you when someone is in total agony. And then that brings me down here where Talking Beer says my heart breaks for Alejo, and mine too. Can I tell you a secret? I think I was preparing for the show after the match yesterday, and I wasn't watching the very end of it super closely. So what happened? What exactly happened with him? Like, did he go in for like a challenge, or did he? I haven't even seen a replay of the injury. Did you remember what he did?
I saw glimpses of it. I saw glimpses of the challenge that did the damage to his ACL.
Yeah.
It was a late challenge, although it was a fair challenge, but it was a rather late challenge to his Achilles. And rather than going down like what most players would, and rather than signal to be taken a look at or to be taken off, what Alejo Veliz did, although it might look very macho and brave then, it might be a bit foolhardy now, seeing as how serious that injury may be to him.
Yeah.
Alejo Veliz actually just soldiered on. He did what most people wouldn't do at this level, and that was just to carry on and soldier on and just plow through the next 2 minutes or so before he finally just collapsed.
I saw that part.
He
Yeah,
just,
I did see
he
that
just
part.
hit the grass flat on his face, and for a minute I thought he was having the kind of seizure or the kind of
some kind of a heart problem or something.
I mean, when I see players hit the ground like this, I don't even think of Christian Eriksen. Whenever I see players fall flat on their face like this, the first thing that comes to mind is Fabrice Muamba.
Yeah,
Fabrice Muamba for Bolton at the old lane in that cup tie, where you see people like Jermaine Defoe in tears, you see Van der Vaart in tears, you see William Gallas shell shocked, you see I think it was Redknapp just pale as a ghost on a touchline. Even the I can't remember his name. Nigel Rio Coker. I think his name was Nigel Rio Coker. He was just dazed.
That was a very scary
for a
day.
moment, for a very brief moment, when I saw Vallejo just hit the deck like that, I was, oh no, not another Fabrice Muamba, not at the New Spurs Stadium. We don't want a repeat of that. Yeah, so
absolutely. Glad that it's not that. It could have been worse. Now that you mentioned that, it could have been something a lot worse than just
it could have been a lot worse. And whatever people may say about Latinos and South Americans and their diving and their play acting, actually seeing Veliz openly sobbing and just bawling into his jersey as he made his way to the touchline, you knew that it was really serious and it's really bad and it's not something anyone will hide. And then having seen Big Ange and Bentan-core and Lo Celso and Richarlison, basically all the Latino South American posse go towards him and reassure him, I just hope it's not as serious as he makes it out to be.
Yeah,
I really do wish him the speediest of recoveries, and I cannot wait to see him back, because he just only scored his debut goal away at Brighton a couple of days prior. There was no doubt in my mind that he would be able to get his next goal this month alone had he stayed fit. And as much as I would like to see Dane Scarlett come on at some point, I would definitely have preferred Alejo Veliz, because he is Big Ange. He is Ange's first choice in our squad, and all the very best to his recovery. And at the same time also, as a silver lining, all the very best as well to Dane Scarlett, which I have no doubt he will make an appearance at some point or other this coming Friday in the FA Cup.
100%. Do you think, real quick, so part of him being so upset, I think I think that he was probably promised minutes. You were saying probably, you know what I mean? He had to have been, because he was so upset and he hadn't been getting minutes. And so I wonder if after, you know, he had gotten that goal, if Postecoglou would set him down and said, hey man, we're getting ready to rely on you a bit more. You've shown what you can do. And then he goes and gets his injury. I think that's probably what ended up happening, and why he was so visibly upset. Also, I mean, players, you know your body pretty well, so he probably knows somewhat the extent of the injury. But again, I hope it's I hope that it's.
I hope it's superficial. Yeah, I know what I know where you're getting at this, because I mean, a player who has torn something or is pulled something or is broken something, they know themselves best. Put it this way. So, but they themselves, they aren't medically trained, or they aren't equipped with the kind of know-how to know how long or of an extent of a time they will be out on the sidelines. So again, this goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show with regards to our medical staff and the whole medical department, and how they treat our fallen, injured players. If Veliz isn't as bad, if the extent of Alejo's ACL tear isn't as bad as what we are thinking, I would really love to see him at some point again for the remainder of this season. But if Big Ange feels that this is the time for us to bring in reinforcements, whether that's going to come in the form of Jose Jimenez, if that's going to come in the form of Jimenez from Mexico, or any other centre forward. I did briefly mention Jota.
Yeah.
Postecoglou's former
Player at Celtic
forward, Celtic player, or even Gift Orban. Although I think the Gift Orban ship has long sailed by now. Whatever Big Ange decides, whatever the medical department, whatever their evaluation of the ACL tear for Veliz is going to be that, we just have to pray for the best and hope Daniel Levy isn't skinned on.
No, I think we've been telling people. Yeah, I think there's money there. I think the club is coming out with all of these these pieces saying, Tottenham doesn't have any money to spend. Well, why would we tell people that we have money to spend? That seems idiotic. So I think that there's money there. And I think everyone who gets really upset about those reports about there not being money needs to just realize that we're probably playing a game. It's like playing a game of poker. You can't let everybody know you got a pair of aces at the beginning. You gotta hold on to those. But you guys, I just saw somebody crazy cool in the chat. First of all, Leo from Mile High Hotspur is here. He says, Scott and my homie, Happy New Year. Big up Colin, Chang, and chat. Big up Leo. We've also got another very special person in the house. First of all, Daniel Sandoval. What is up, Sandoval? And then and a lot of other people. But look at this. Look who this person is. It's my mom, everybody. Round of applause for the best mom around. It's Julie Sievers. But she says, and she's right, that we need to be clinical and improve the squad. We've had squad players that don't fit the mild, yet still put in a shift, but that doesn't mean we can't let them go and improve on the squad 100%. And then she also mentioned that you're a great addition to the panel, and she's right 100%. And and everybody, lots of love it. But yeah, so we do need to improve the squad. I just don't know. I obviously a defender is the most important position, I think, for me in January. If you were to see a player come in, Chang, and you could only pick, say only one player is coming in January. I know it's like a nightmare scenario, but say there's just one. Would you want it to be a midfielder, a defender, or an attacking player?
I may have some breaking news here. I'm not gonna get your hopes up too high. I'm not gonna get your hopes up too high to the viewers to call in to anyone who's gonna watch this on playback. This might actually come back to bite me, but I've just had some information coming through Twitter again, saying that Radu Draguzin is all but signed, is all but assured to join within the coming days. The fee has been agreed, but it's now the bonuses and some clauses to his signing, whether it's an add-on or a sell-on or whatever those clauses are. It's just a matter of dotting the I's and crossing the T's now. And there is a date set for the medical for Radu Draguzin. Although
What?
again, that might be scuppered by his work permit. This is also pending his work permit over in the UK. But Radu Draguzin is all but signed and sealed. But until I see the here we go from Fabrizio Romano, I'm going to take this with a giant pinch of salt. So
Remember
please
when
don't
Fabrizio
shoot us.
Romano didn't used to? Remember when he didn't used to exist, and we'd have to wait for the player to hold the shirt, and now we just have some guy on the internet that tells us if players are coming. Times have changed. Times have changed, Chang. But yeah,
Yeah, times
you're
have changed because of social media and influencers and also those ITKs. For those who don't know what an ITK is someone who's in the know. That's why they're called ITKs. But that this is the power of modern technology and also the internet. If I had to state very bluntly as to what this is. So now that Radu Draguzin, it's going to take some time to get me up to steam with his name. This is going to be a bit of a tongue twister for me, but Radu Draguzin, welcome
You
to
got
Tottenham
it.
Hotspur.
Perfect.
Absolutely can't wait to see you in Lily White. Hopefully, you will be unveiled at some point on Friday during the FA Cup tie.
That would be
Really
amazing.
can't wait to see how you get stuck in and bedded in with the rest of the back line. If you do,
Can you imagine not having Dyer on the bench and we actually have somebody
no, no,
that
no,
can
no.
play?
Okay. This is just what I was about to mention. As much as I would like to see Radu Draguzin ushered into the starting 11 as quickly and as promptly as what Big Ange did for Mickey van der Ven, the last thing I would want to see right now is Radu Draguzin making his debut beside. I'm not going to mention his name right now.
Dyer.
I'm not going to mention his name
You don't
because
need-
when
yeah.
he came on, the moment he came on yesterday against the Cherries broke our cherry and spoiled our clean sheet.
Hold on, watch this. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened yesterday. Shout out to Josh for making that. Josh, you're the man. But yeah, I didn't mean to scare you, Chang. I'm sorry. I should have warned you that I was going to play something scary. But no, you're right. And it was sad that even Royale was trying to point to him where to go. Like when you've got Royale, who's not even a central defender, trying to help you out when you're a central defender by trade, it's kind of scary. It seems like kind of a scary thing here. But we all know that Dyer has no real future here. So, but yeah, so you know, yeah.
Now that Hugo Lloris has been unveiled over at Los Angeles,
Yeah.
the next two senior most or the next two longest serving members of our squad are actually Eric Dyer and Ben Davies. They are the next two longest serving members of the squad, and although they are very level-headed and very experienced defenders, I think moving forward, we really have to look towards the signings of centre backs like Van der Ven, Draguzin, Romero, maybe another centre forward if Ben Davies is moved on at the end of this season. Although I would say that he has been a good servant, and I don't mind having the Welsh national skipper on our books.
I love Ben Davies. I'll just say it.
Yeah, I mean, as a personality, as a professional, he is up there. Ben Davies is up there with the likes of Harry Kane and Son Heung-min and Hugo Lloris when it comes to being the manager's ultimate professional. How he conducts himself on the field, off the pitch, on social media, in front of a camera, in the news, all that. They are absolutely gems to have for any manager.
And is he good enough to start? No, and I know that he shouldn't be a starter for us, of course. But you need some squad players, and I'd say he's good enough for that.
To answer your question about is he good enough to start, you had the banner below earlier. Who is going to captain? Yeah, this one. Yeah, this banner in particular. Who is going to captain Spurs on Friday? If Davis is fit to start, I would like to see him being captain on Friday, provided we don't have Dyer beside him. And if Emerson Royal is going to put in another shift at centre back beside him, then so be it. But my captain for Friday is either going to be Ben Davies or Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Anyone but Dyer. That's it.
I think that it's likely that we'll finally see one of either Dorrington or Phillips in the match on Friday. I think that's very likely, and they'll probably line up next to Ben Davis because Ben Davis is, he, like you said, he captains that Welsh squad. I think he'll be better at marshalling another player than Dyer would. Dyer would just point and then not do anything. Whereas I feel like Ben Davis would actually come across and help defend if he needed to. I don't know. I mean, I actually, one time I had this. I won't play the whole intro, but one time I had a keeper West Ham, and it was these two guys. And it's so easy to pick. It's not even a choice. So I won't even play the game. But yeah, I think that you're right. I think that Davies will be our captain on Friday in the cup match. And here's praying to God that we see Dorrington or Phillips next to him. I would love it. Also, I wanted to tell everybody I'm sorry. It looks like Ash said that video should come with a trigger warning, and then Talking Beer says call giving me PTSD with that Dyer clip. I feel like we allowed another goal just having seen the clip. Sorry about that, everybody. I will warn you next time. I pinky promise. But yeah, there's some more comments I missed up. Oh my God, look at this. Do you remember when we were in for this guy, this Brazilian striker? Leandro
What was
Damião.
that, like a dozen years ago now? That has got to be easily more than a dozen years ago, because Leandro Damião was linked to us even before AVB. Leandro Damião was linked to us even before AVB. That's how long ago it was. I think it was even before the early rumors that Fernando Llorente was going to join us from Atletico Madrid. He was in his early or mid 20s, even before he hit his 20s. Fernando Llorente.
He's 34 now.
Exactly. Fernando Llorente. So, this is wow. This really brings me back.
I remember wanting it so bad and watching so many compilations of that dude scoring goals and just being like, "Oh my God, he's amazing!" But
someone from the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but at the time when we had Harry Redknapp with us, the two most likely centre forwards that were offered to us, or rather we were heavily linked with, I remember Saido Berahino. Saido Berahino and
he was a striker for like West Brom or something, I think.
Yeah, correct. Berahino and Peter Odemwingie. And then Leandro Damião. These were the top three names that we were very heavily linked with. Saido Berahino, Peter Odemwingie, and Leandro Damião. And of course, none of them came to us. We ended up getting, I think, Luis Saha. We ended up getting Luis Saha for poor old Redknapp, which was a kind of a big shame. But I mean, when you have Peter Crouch and
Jermaine Defoe
and Defoe, and also Super Path. I mean, who can forget the Red Hot Russian Rocket Super Path?
I even miss Adebayor. Don't hate me. Don't shoot me. But I even kind of miss Adebayor. I feel like he on his day was unplayable, but on his day was like once a season. But yeah, that guy was good too. We've had some interesting strikers at the club. That's for sure. And Berahino, however you pronounce that fella's name, he just fell off the map. I'm gonna Google him. But real quick, I just wanted to say I saw a name in the chat that I haven't seen in a while. It's John Fitzpatrick John Fitz is one of my oldest friends from YouTube. Big up, Fitzy. Can't wait to be in your country soon, man. May, I'll be in Ireland. We gotta hang. So big up, John Fitzpatrick. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you, Fitzy. But yeah, one more thing I wanted to get to real quick is, well, so we talked about who's captaining on Friday.
Yes, we did.
So, and we're pretty sure that it's going to be Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, you never answered. So if you could only bring in, sorry, I knew there was something I forgot. Transfer window comes and we could only bring in one player. Do you want it to be a defender? Is that if you could only pick one position, would it be in the defense?
Before Alejo Veliz's injury yesterday, yes, I would have been more than happy to bring in only Radu Dragusin for this January transfer window. But seeing as how Veliz will be out for some time with his purported ACL tear, maybe a permanent long-term centre forward who's going to seriously challenge Richarlison and not just be a bit part bench warmer. That is currently Alejo Veliz's role in the squad. As much as I would really love to see Richarlison just kick on and score a bucket load of goals between now and the end of the season and for many more seasons to come, I really feel that he needs a serious centre forward partner to challenge him for a starting berth in the starting 11 because let's be honest, Son Heung-min isn't getting any younger and he isn't the tallest of centre forwards in the Premier League. That's with us right now. And although I know Dane Scarlett has already been recalled from his loan from Ipswich,
he wasn't getting many minutes at Ipswich.
He was barely. I don't think you could even put together 90 minutes from all his appearances for Ipswich in the first half of the League One, or rather not League One, sorry, the Championship first half of the season that he's had over there. I would actually rather bring in Troy Parrott than to sign another bit part stopgap centre forward.
Because then we have another player on the books, another player we have to try to get somebody to buy back from us eventually. So yeah,
exactly. Yep, exactly right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, this is all up to Big Ange and who he does decide to bring in this January transfer window. If there is to be any signings to be made in the striker department, we have to wait and see. But for the time being, we'll just have to make do with Radu Dragusin and put our faith in Enoch and Daniel Levy that they will fork out the cash if and when it's required to sign whatever other players that Big Ange is going to need to bolster our squad.
Yeah. So if I had to make you guess right now, just real quick, not even much time to think about it, but how many players are we bringing in January?
2. I'm going to go just for 2. I would be very happy with the 1. For me right now, anything more than Radu Dragusin,
it's like Christmas.
It's going to be Christmas all over again. But if we could get 1 more on top of Radu Dragusin, Daniel Levy would have gone somewhere to redeeming himself. Although that still is a long way more to go to that, but it will be a big improvement. So for me, 2 incomings would be a welcome for Big Ange. For anyone listening right now in the chat or anyone who's watching this on playback, drop us a figure in the comments as to who you would like to see come into the squad this January, and we'll try and read out some of the players that you're going to mention in the comments.
Boom. Wonderful idea. And when I asked everybody to what position that thought we needed, we had my mom saying, oh my God, yes, a center mid. She meant central defender. We've cleared that up. And then Wayne Bonner saying center back is an absolute priority. 100% agree. Daniel E. saying center back is a must over every other position at the moment. I'm sorry, that's just facts, and you're 100% right. I think, Daniel, that is facts this time. Mom says if we don't shore up our defense, we need to bang in 5 goals a game. 100%.
Basically, outscore the opposition. Basically,
Harry Redknapp style.
Yeah, Harry Redknapp. Your mom is actually bang on the butt for this, because the whole Big Ange setup is basically just outscore the opposition.
Yeah.
And in the preview, I did a recording for the Bournemouth home game preview, in which I likened our 4-2, the 4-2 loss away at Brighton. There were shades of that crazy 6-4 win against Reading. If anyone in the chat or anyone watching this remembers Berbatov scoring 4 goals in that crazy 6-4 topsy-turvy win against Reading at the old White Hart Lane. Big Ange is very similar, but we unfortunately do not have Harry Kane still in our books to score the kind of goals that would just simply bulldoze the opposition like a battering ram. So until we really get until we get a permanent centre forward that's really going to challenge Richarlison the same way Harry Kane now is really picking up the mantle over there at Bayern Munich.
Yeah. It's funny. People said that Kane wasn't going to be able to play in a Postecoglou team, but if Kane was here, do you know how many goals he would have by now? Like every single one of those chances that Richarlison misses, every single one of those chances that Sonny misses, I feel like Kane would put those away. He's just so clinical. And I don't want to talk too much about Kane because he's gone or whatever, but he would be sick in this team. He would be. You can't deny that he would be amazing for Postecoglou.
For the benefit of anyone who didn't watch our last pre-season friendly at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season, Harry Kane bagged 4 goals against Shakhtar Donetsk on his final appearance for Spurs before Dane Scarlett added a 5th towards the very end. So that is as big a miss as you will ever get for seeing a big gaping hole at our centre forward line. So again, like I said, I would really love to see Richarlison hit the heights of both Son and Kane in terms of his goal scoring contributions and his overall goal contributions, whether it's assists or key passes leading up to goals, until he gets a partner up in the forward line and really challenge him. The ball is firmly in Daniel Levy's court to stump out the cash required for another forward to get these goals for us. Yeah.
And Audio Artisan is agreeing with you here. I said Troy Parrott's having a decent loan in Holland, 5 goals, 2 assists in 13 games. That's awesome. I didn't know he was doing so well. And I also kind of respect him a lot for making that move. That's, a lot of like young British players tend to like kind of stay in the area, whereas he's actually left the country, gone on loan. That's awesome. So real quick, Talking Beer says we were also in for a Japanese center back. Have y'all heard this? I have not yet.
Is this that Rio guy? The Rio Hatate or the this could be that Rio Hatate guy also from Celtic, I believe, or if this is another Japanese centre back. Let me see. Let me try to break my brain.
I found no, this is too old. Hold on 1 second.
Anyone who is in the chat, if you can bring up the name of this Japanese centre back that we are being linked to. As brought up by Mr. Talking Beer, we would really appreciate the name because
Makita, Koki, Makita. I don't know. I'll copy and paste it into this is his name. It's in the chat now. But this is the guy. Koki. Oh. So now we have multiple people saying different things. I think I'm wrong. So Ash says that it's this person, and Talking Beer says that's right. So It's either him or it's this Makita fellow. I'm not 100% sure which one, but man, as long as we bring in a defender who's got pace, who can play without getting a red card every other game, and is better than Eric Dyer, I'm happy. I would almost prefer we bring in 2 center backs, but then that kind of closes the door for Dorrington and Phillips. And I still think they've got a lot to offer. I don't think we, Talking Bears talking to Ash. Oops. So yeah, this is the fellow. I'm gonna have to look into him some more before I have like a real informed opinion. Ash says I'm right. You are Ash. Good job. So yeah, Daniel E though says anyone who even doubts if Kane would score in any system when the guy who is a born goal scorer and can create as well with a superior football IQ, I have to laugh at them fans. 100%, dude. I think I was trying to console myself whenever he was leaving, and I was like, oh, he's not perfect for a big game system. You could get a better striker for that. But it was just me trying to soften the blow, you know what I mean?
That I believe is the second stage of grief, I believe. Is denial. That's the second stage of grief, the denial and the sort of like coming to terms with his departure. I know exactly where you're coming from this because I felt exactly the same way as you.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to prepare for this inevitable pain, and so you cut all ties. Like I don't even think about Harry Kane much anymore. But yeah, Talking Bear makes a good point to Daniel. Remember when everybody wanted Kane gone? Remember whenever, he wasn't good enough? I don't know. It's just crazy. So to me, I think giving up on Richarlison this early is wild too. Because when Kane first broke out and started to become a good player, he didn't even move around well. Like he just looked awkward. Didn't look like an athlete at all. You know what I mean? Like he just kind of like was. I'd say he was like a tiny bit overweight, maybe. And then his movement just wasn't. He wasn't fast. He wasn't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you are referring to because when I first set eyes on Harry Kane, to me he sort of looked kind of awkward, very gangly, very out of place, a bit maybe too green and fresh off the conveyor belt, straight into the field of battle. But I mean, what can I say? He proved all of us wrong. Definitely. And when, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was AVB. It was Veliz who gave him his debut. And the moment Pochettino took over the reins, or rather, no, not sorry, it was Tim Sherwood. Tim Sherwood took over the reins, and he just fielded him in that very familiar Hewlett-Packard jersey now.
That was one of the first kits.
The Hewlett-Packard, the circular Hewlett-Packard.
I miss not having a red logo on our kits, man. Those were the days.
You have absolutely no idea just how much. Even this is actually the kind of logo which I like. Anything but red on the logo. This is what I adore. Whether it's white or blue or whatever it may be, so long as it's not red, I'm all for it. But yeah, going back to Harry Kane, kudos to AVB, kudos to Tim Sherwood, and of course, not forgetting the magical one, Pochettino, for really trusting in Harry Kane. And we really had a generational one of our own centre forward who's now
and he was just hiding. He was hiding in the youth teams. I mean, I know that he was doing well in the youth teams, but he was just there under the radar. He had all those unsuccessful loan spells. I guess what I'm just trying to say is, it's like if Kane could go under the radar for so long, I don't know. It just seems like giving up on a player. It makes me not want to give up on any players, really, Chang. You know what I mean? If you say, wow, like look at what we thought was going to come from him, and then what did? What if we had given up on him? What if we had sold him to Leicester after that loan? What if we had, you know what I mean? It's just, so for me, I know that you can't, they're two different things, but I think that giving up on Richarlison already is maybe a mistake as well. I know they're totally different players, totally different skill levels, but I just don't think it's time yet to give up on Richarlison. But anybody can disagree. Totally understand. So Arsenal wearing kits with blue. Can you ever imagine us having a third kit with red? No, it's just talking beer. And then Leo from Hotspur. Sorry, what was that, brother?
No. Speaking about us having a third kit in red, I would gladly wear a tutu, a pink tutu, than having a red kit with lily white on top of it. That's just how much I'm never going to wear it. It's funny that you should mention wearing red because over here in Southeast Asia, the Chinese Lunar New Year is actually coming up, and every single year, because I am from a very staunch and very traditional Chinese family, both my maternal and paternal families are Cantonese from mainland China, and every single year they would pretty much force upon us kids or the or rather the second and third generation Chinese immigrants away from China to wear traditional all red from pretty much head to toe.
Oh yeah.
That is such a pet peeve for me. I don't think I've ever appeared on any sort of match day viewing or any kind of what kind of like what we're doing now, except that it was with Premier League Fan Zone back in the day before I made my YouTube debut. The Chinese, or rather the lunar festive season, was one of my most dreaded years, one of my most dreaded times of year. Not because of the festivities or the kind of merrymaking involved, but rather the all red that we Asians, or rather we Chinese, have to don because it's supposed to signify good luck or something. I'm just going to show you this thing very quickly to the viewers at home. This symbol, this logo to the back of my bedroom wall. This is actually a sort of marriage. This is a sort of a marriage kind of let me see here. Yeah, there we go. This is a sort of a marriage kind of symbol that us Asians have to put up. And if I could have this in any other color other than red, I would gladly bleach it. But if I were to do that, my wife would. If I were to do anything to the color of this thing, that would be grounds for divorce for my wife. So I'm just gonna cut a very fine line between what I'm going to display here on screen.
We don't blame you. We don't blame you. I noticed there's somebody in the back room. Can you give me a thumbs up in the back room if are you ready? You can pull yourself. Yeah. All right. Guess what, guys? We've got somebody here. I'm not even going to introduce him. I'm just going to surprise everyone. Look who it is. It's Spanish Buzz, a.k.a. Jose, a.k.a. Mr. Sickly. You feeling any better, mate?
Nah, I'm all bunged up.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I've been watching the show Chang. He's done really well, mate. Thank you very much.
Chang is the best. He's awesome.
If anything, Senor Garcia, I have nothing but pure respect and just my gratitude to you for even roping me in. Don't talk about me. What I'm doing right now, what I've ever done in the past, or what I will do in the future is all thanks to you. So you please, there is absolutely no need to thank me. If anything, I should be thanking you. And I really do hope you are feeling a lot better. Today is only the first day of a new year. You have 364 more days for the year 2024. May you have many, many, many more healthy and blessed days for this year ahead. And we have a whole another half of the second half of this league season to look forward under Big Ange.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chan. But listen, support for Tottenham is worldwide, and you're representing for the people out in Malaysia, which is absolutely brilliant. People need to know who you are. Your opinions are valued, hence why we get you on the show. More people need to get you about. It's just a really, really difficult for even having Ash as well from India. It's just difficult because our time zones are all different. I mean, Colin's time zone, my time zone are different, and you know, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant to have you on the show. I've been looking at all the comments that people have been putting in the show for you. Absolute respect you, sir. Thank you very much again. Mr. Can I wish everybody a happy new year? I know I've been writing it in the chat, but I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. May you have health, wealth, happiness, joy, laughter, and love to everybody in 2024.
Agreed. Same from me as well. Talking ball. Same to everybody. Hope everyone has a wonderful year. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Just hope the best for everybody and for Spurs. We've got a big match on Friday. And Jose, I'm so sorry that you're sick, man. It bums me out, makes me sad. But Jose, we've been talking a little bit about the transfer window being open.
Okay.
Are you of the same feeling as everybody else? If we could only bring in one player, would you want it to be a defender, or would you go? Okay, sweet. So
centre back, all day long. Rubber stamp. If not one, get two. Two for the price of one. Do something. Bring the centre backs. Give us what we need.
Right. I was just wondering if with the recent injuries, if that changed anybody's mind about where we were, short. But I guess midfield has always been a position where we've had the most players. I think we're pretty stacked in that midfield area. But Pierre's potentially leaving. Sarr is potentially hurt for a long time. So yeah, I was just wondering if that had changed anybody's mind. But I'm still fully in the same camp. Center back. Just wondering if you.
I just think to be honest, without labouring the point, we have people that are paid in these positions, and these people, regardless of when they came into the club, they should have been looking at winter transfer window, summer transfer windows, plans being put in place. All I keep saying over and over again is that if something changes and you need to accelerate your plan, then because you've got a plan in place, the acceleration should then not be a problem. The case in point was last season or the season before in the winter transfer window. We bid for Diaz when he was out in Portugal, and the minute we bid for Diaz, because his heart was set on Liverpool, the agent, as soon as Tottenham put a bid in that was approved, the agent then told Liverpool, right, Tottenham have put a bid in, the club are approving the bid because they've met the clause, and then Liverpool were told about it, and Liverpool had to act upon it and bring Diaz in straight away in the winter transfer window and bring forward their summer plan to get Diaz in. That's the type of thing we need to do. If we feel that we're short anywhere, or Ange feels that we're short anywhere, if we've got a list of players already for the summer and we're short and we need them, pull them from the summer, bring them now in the winter. Simple as.
100%. And I think with this whole team, like you said, we've kind of beat this into the ground, but with this whole big team now that we've got of scouts, of of director of football, we've got this almost network now, and it seems like between all of them, they should have something planned and ready to go. And I'm expecting a signing like this week. And Julie Sievers, my mom, again, saying that we need a new Toby Yan pairing. She's saying queen of typos today, but a new Toby and Yan pairing, and that would be amazing. I think we were starting to see it with Van de Ven and Romero. To be honest, we saw Van de Ven's pace make up for some of Romero's, getting up the pitch and doing his thing. I think they're the perfect pairing for each other. So, once that's back, hopefully Van de Ven comes back with that same speed, that same explosiveness that he left with. I think he will. But yeah, Jose, do you? We haven't talked about score predictions for Friday yet. We're very close to the end of the show, but I just wanted to
before you go into score predictions, the word predictions. I sent you everything yesterday and you didn't do it. So should we do it today?
Let's do it. Let me get it pulled up here.
Yeah, let's just bring up people's latest scores and the predictions.
Let's do it.
I've not updated the table because I do that at the end of the prediction week. But some people have had, I think everybody has scored points, but some people have had some really good weeks this week.
Let's get this up. All right, guys. So, share my screen here. And add to stage. Boom. So first of all, there are the predictions themselves. As you probably all know by now, orange means that you got the correct team winning. That's 1 point. Green means that not only did you get the correct team winning, but you got the score correct, 3 points. And so this is what we've got so far. And look at all that orange on the board.
There's a lot of green. Yesterday in the Fulham Arsenal game, and in the Tottenham game, so much green was added because people had the correct predictions for the Arsenal, Tottenham, and Bournemouth game. There's quite a few greens for the Notts Forest Man United game, and then apart from that, it's oranges. So from Forest onwards, there's greens, but before that, it was oranges. But the highlights are, I mean, without going into the league table at the moment, I currently have for this week 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 7 points. Colin has 2. Chris Meta Football has 10. Tot Spurs has 7. Bobby K has 5. Ian Meth has 9.
Jeez, nice.
Ellie has 3. Kate has 7. Jim has 3 correct predictions on the bounce.
Nice job, Jim.
So
look at that.
Jim's got 11.
Look at that green little. Yeah, it's nice.
Chris Peters has 3. Wayne Bonner so far has 6. Tottenham Mum has 3.
She beat me so far this week.
Dry Roasted Peanut has 7. Jamie has 6. Mr. Schroker has 6.
Nice job.
Ash has 3. Smithy's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Smithy's got 9.
Jesus, Smithy. I need to take some gambling advice from you, bro. Yeah. Nice job, Smith.
Danny's got 8. Beer Talk has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Michael Zachariah, who played for the first time, has 1, 2, has 5. Mark Cousins, who entered for the first time, has 5.
Oh, Michael's the United fan. Nice.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was playing. Sweet.
Yeah. So Josh, speaking of Spurs, has got 1, 2, has got 5. Ben Kaufman has got 2. Chang has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Scott M has 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. He's got one green. And Nita has 6 because she has 1 green. So everyone scored points. Everybody. Obviously, there's 2 games to go. There's Liverpool versus Newcastle tonight, and then tomorrow you have West Ham United versus Brighton, and then on Wednesday we'll be able to give you an updated predictions table, knowing that the fixtures are then off for 2 weeks, so then we don't have to do predictions for 2 weeks.
And then hopefully we get a bunch of our players back during that time.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jose, have you heard anything about a timeline for Madison? Have they given out anything of that?
Yeah. Okay, so what I've got on that at the moment is, let me see where it is. There we go. So I update this. Give it a quick squeeze. All right. Ivan Perisic potential return 1st of June 2024. Christian Romero's return at the moment is the 31st of January 24.
Okay.
Manor Solomon has been pushed out because he was earlier, but now he's been pushed out to the 31st of January 2024. So he's been pushed back by 2 weeks since I last looked. Mickey van der Ven and James Maddison are both penciled in for the 14th of January. Sorry, along with Ryan Sessegnon as well.
Woo!
So 3 players have been penciled in for the Man United game, being back in the squad for the Man United game. Bissouma would have been on the 14th of January as well, had it not been for his suspension, and he's at the AFCON. So he's back in February. And Dejan Kulusevski is saying the 6th of January. Now, why it's saying that, I don't know. Because he was suspended. But is the suspension 1 game or 2 games?
It was just for card accumulation, right?
Well, yeah, it just says here 5 yellow cards. Kulusevski suspended, but he's not available till the 6th of January, which will be the day after the FA Cup game.
Yeah, it's 2. That makes it 2. That will make it 2, right?
That makes it 2 games. I didn't realise it was 2. I thought it was 1 game only that he misses. But
unless it's actually just 1 league game. unless it's only just one league game and the
Players will
FA
be
Cup game
suspended.
doesn't count, right?
Players will be
Possibly.
suspended for one game if they receive 5 yellow cards in the first 19 games of the season.
Okay, so yes, it's one. So he'll be back. So he's back then for the FA Cup game. And then it's got Pape Matar he's got a hamstring strain. He's not been assessed yet. He's been currently assessed, so there's no return date for him. And on this update on the Tottenham Hotspur, they haven't got nothing about Veliz yet.
Yeah, I have a feeling he might not have even had a scan. They might still be waiting on swelling and stuff to go down. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but he's not been put on the tracker, is what I'm saying. He's not on the tracker that we've got.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, everything's going to be. I mean, it'll be like watching an entirely new team if we get Van de Ven and Madison back. I mean, they were two of our. Those Madison just constantly pushed us forward, and Van de Ven with that pace was unreal. I think we'll be looking real good if they come back. I would even trust. I don't want to say it like this, but I would even trust Van de Ven playing next to Dyer. I don't want that to happen, but I think that would be okay. I don't think we would get steamrolled with that pairing back there. But anyway, we're getting a new defender. Dragison's coming to Spurs. It's looking like it's going to happen. I saw today that Chelsea are in for Todibo, or I forget if the B comes before the D, but I heard that Chelsea are in for him, so that's pretty much him out the window for us. But that's okay, because it seemed like Dragison had become our number one target anyway. But
yeah, but the shame about this is they're saying that Tottenham are dropping it because it's dealing with Nice. It's going to take too long to deal with them, and it depends on what you want to do. If you want to bring one in urgently, and you think Dragusin is the boy that you're going to bring in very early, then go for him. But why don't you also go for Todibo as well? Why are we not still going for Todibo? If he takes longer to bring through, then why are we still not bringing in Todibo as well? Like last year when we were talking about Mickey van der Ven, and we were talking about the guy in Germany. What's his name?
oh my God, yeah. I'm having a hard time too.
Plays for Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, I'm looking up their squad right now.
The guy that we were linked with in the summer, centre back.
I remember his face. It was Tapsoba, Edmund Tapsoba.
Tapsoba, okay. So at the time in the summer, I was saying, well, why don't we just bring in both Van der Ven and Tapsoba? Well, it's that case in point now. If the Dragusin deal can be done quicker than the Todibo deal, then why aren't we just going for both players? Bring both of them in. If Todibo takes a bit longer and you won't have him ready for the FA Cup game, fine. Still go for Todibo as well. Do you see what I mean? There's no point in resting on one player. Go for both.
And we know that Paratici's got like 4 or 5 probably shots in the chamber right now, just waiting. You know what I mean? If that's kind of been his approach. It's kind of a scattergun type approach. So hopefully we've got some more. Some more people lined up in case these fall through. But I think that Dragison's going to come. I think that's basically finished as far as Chang and I and yourself this morning told me, Jose.
Sorry, I was just sending you comments that I saw from Chan himself on our WhatsApp group, but then also on X. What X is reporting everywhere is that he's agreed his personal package, and some people were saying yesterday we were 5 million apart. Some people today were saying it was 2 million apart. Well, if that's all it is, then the deal should be done. Although saying that, there was once upon a time a person called Kim Min Jae, and we were 5 million apart on Kim Min Jae, and that didn't happen. So
remember, everyone said he wasn't good enough, and look how good he is.
So you have to be less than 5 million, and then you're more comfortable. If you're 5 million apart, then look, Kim Min Jae didn't come, so let's hope it is the 2 million rather than the 5.
Hey, and Andreas, who I'm not sure I've seen in the house before, said Levy is the problem, and definitely with getting players in and player evaluations. So yeah, for sure. So welcome, Andreas. Good to have you here. Appreciate you big time. Make sure this is being dual streamed to both Talking Ball and Eltel Cockerell. Make sure you get to both channels. I'll throw the link up, and I want you to make sure everybody that you've liked and subbed to both if you could.
And there we go. And you got Vicanen. Hello, Vicanen. Vicario is the king.
Hell yes, he is. Hell yes.
And we've got Radu Dragusin made the most successful tackles in Italy at 82.5% accurate rate. Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen Dragusin play until they played Inter the other night. It just so happened it was on BT Sport. I turned it over, I watched him. He looks quick. He looks like he's no nonsense. He likes to get stuck in.
Stuck in,
Yeah,
yep.
he likes to get stuck in, and he seems to go. He reminds me a lot of watching the other day. He reminds me a lot of Ramos. He goes into beast mode.
Sweet. Hey, I'll take that. That's a great comparison. Yeah.
Well, but to have two beasts in Romero and Dragusin playing together, many? We're saying that we don't want suspensions. God, is that an opening for suspensions? Having them both playing together in beast mode.
We'd almost surely have to have just one of them at a time. You would think, you know what I mean? Because we've been talking about how even Van de Ven had even said that he and Romero's partnership was working well because Romero likes to be more aggressive while he likes to be more kind of reactive to things. And so I think that we might continue in that vein. Todibo seems more like a Van de Ven player to me. So maybe if we were to get both of them, maybe that's kind of the pairings that we would go with. And we also have to remember that we have Phillips and Dorrington, who the team obviously thinks very highly of. We went through all that trouble this summer to make sure we got Phillips, and even didn't we kind of screw their club over a little bit to get him on like a cheaper fee or something? So, we clearly wanted him, and I feel like we wouldn't have done all that just to have him rot on the bench. So I think maybe only one defender, but I don't know. It does seem weird to me that Ange doesn't trust any of these guys, that we needed to put a defender in the other day. And while we had, I think it was Dorrington on the bench, Dyer went in instead.
Yeah.
So,
Colin, have you seen the picture? I'm sure Chan has, because Chan looks like he's all over X. Have you seen the picture of a young Dragusin with Bentan-core and
Kulu?
Was it with Bentan-core and Kulu, or was Romero in the picture as well? It was an old Juventus picture.
I think
it was actually Bentan-core, Kulu, and Dragusin. I did share this picture in our talk and ball group. I believe some 24 hours prior. If I can find it, I'm going to just bring it up again.
Yeah,
see if
it's
this
just
refreshes anyone's memory. I think I might have. Because I found it. I'm going to refresh it. So if you can find somewhere to put it on the screen, there we go.
Send it to Colin. So put it on talk.
Send it to Colin. Okay, right. I'm sending it to Colin right now.
Because the interesting thing about
there
this
we go.
Well,
Colin has it. Colin has it right now.
The interesting thing about this as well is that Romero was also at Juventus.
Yeah,
let's not forget that. Before he went to Bologna, or whoever, he was also at Juventus, Romero. So it's interesting. All these. Listen, this has got Paratici stamped all over it, hasn't it? Come on, let's not get away from it.
It really does.
Paratici's still sprinkling that dust.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Salt bee style.
Whatever Paratici is doing now, long may it continue. Although he may have to be very careful now with his transfer dealings or whatever sort of kickbacks or profits that he may have had a hand in these dealings. But if you look at all the Italian Serie A signings that we brought in so far, whether it's Vicario, Udogi, both Kulusevski and Bentan-core, it's been just gems left and right. It's the non-Serie A players right now which actually has raised question marks of these non-Italian league players that we're bringing in. Hopefully, Richarlison will come good, and Fraser Foster has signed a new contract, so maybe Big Ange knows something that we don't about Fraser Foster. But other than that, we all know that Jet Spence was a Levy signing, and that turned out to be an absolute catastrophe. Jet Spence.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely not wrong.
I think it's pretty much every Italian Serie A player ever brought in under Paratici has been a big hit, and it is the non-Italian league players that are raising the question marks as to whether or not we should venture outside of Serie A for any more signings to be made. Especially if these rumors that Dragozin has already uh, confirmed his departure from Genoa and is just waiting for the green light from his club in accepting the permanent transfer fee set up by Levy and Inic. I just can't see anything wrong right now with Paratici signing players from Serie A.
Yeah, same. And it's worked out well.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I was going to say, back in the summer, I turned around, remember, and I said, I think the value for players in this market is Serie A. Not just for Tottenham, I mean for anybody, because Serie A are so far down the line of, with COVID and with the cost of living crisis and everything, they are in the mire, and the Italian clubs need the money, right? So they're further down the line than what Spain are at the moment. So for me, I said the value would always be in the Italian market, is what I said in the summer. Now, when you have someone like Paratici with you, then you're bound to get some good deals there. Andries, I totally agree with you, and I don't know whether it's up to Paratici to get the players out or whether it's now up to Lange, McDermott, Munn, and everyone else in the background. I don't know whether it's down to them to now get the players out. Right, so
I finally got the picture up.
The only player that's missing there is Romero.
Yeah, absolutely. So Romero and Dragozin must have played together in a defensive partnership before.
Does Dragozin look like a beast there? Straight away, look at him.
He does. He looks like it's miniature Zlatan Ibrahimovic, to me at least. But yeah, that's exciting. It's exciting we're getting the band back together, everybody. We're getting the boys back together, and that's great. It's always good to have players that have chemistry already with each other, and that have played together, that know each other's game. Never a bad thing at all. Never a bad thing.
Sorry, Scott M's just come in. Scott, mate, Happy New Year. Right. When Paratici was part of a group of people at Juve, it wasn't just Paratici. There was about 8 of them that got found guilty, and that includes the board, and that includes people like Pavel Nedved and people like that. So Agnoli, there's loads of them. There's about 8 of them that got found guilty for this. It's not just Paratici, and they all resigned for a reason before the charges. Before they were charged, they knew they were going to be charged, and they all resigned. They must have had an inkling beforehand, because before, about 3 or 4 months before that, Paratici had left Juve and we took him on. So I think they may have all had an inkling that they were going to get found, or they were all going to be charged. But it wasn't just Paratici. And what I will say is Paratici, before he left, or before he got found guilty, Paratici had rubber stamped everything that we did about 14 months ago. And that was changing the academy, changing the contracts, making sure that we all aligned and the football was all aligned throughout the club. This was all a building process and was done when Paratici was at the helm. Paratici's not at the helm anymore. So Paratici, whatever Paratici does now, will obviously be rubber stamped by Munn, Lange, or Langdown, Levy. They'll have to rubber stamp it all, because Tottenham won't want to be found to be guilty of anything like Juve were in the past. So, at the end of the day, for me, I like a lot of stuff that you say, mate, but yeah, it wasn't just Paratici's fault at Juventus.
Boom. And real quick, I just want to say, Chang, how many hours do you have until you have to work? Because I don't want to keep you up too long, brother.
You know what? At this stage, looking at the clock, it's about 10 minutes to 2 a.m. here in Malaysia. So
and you wake up at 5.
I have to be at work at 5. I can stay up for another hour or so. I can stay up for another hour until maybe 3 a.m. before I need at least maybe 2 hours of rest before I start work at 5. So yeah, I'm good here for another hour or so. If you are willing to have me, I would be on for as long as you're on.
Colin messaged me because obviously I couldn't come on. I don't feel well, and he said to me, "Chan's coming on, but Chan's not slept." And I said to him, "What's the difference between Chan and Ash?" It seems to be the people on that side of the world where you and Ash come from. I'm saying that side of the world. You guys don't seem to need no sleep at all. Me, I need sleep. Colin, I think you need sleep.
Yeah. I'm not very good at it. I don't get very much. I just lay there a lot. But yeah, I don't understand. You said that I think Chang told me that he's gotten 7 hours of sleep in the past like 3 days. Is that what you said? I think that's what you said. That's crazy, man. That is
Exactly. I just want to add this thing very quick. Prior to me making my debut on Jacob's United Spurs of America's members calling show, I was actually doing like a solid 7 to 8 hours on a daily basis because I'm usually in bed by 9 p.m. And I'll be maybe up at 4 or 5 latest the next day. So this is a big change for me, but it's a very welcome one because although I don't appear on a very daily basis, but I'm still managing to make my schedule work around all these shows. And honestly, the timing for shows couldn't be better because it's not just the work, it's not just being a family man, it's actually a combination of everything going on in my life right now. I'm not going to disclose too much about my midlife crisis, but this what I'm doing right now on Talk and Ball and any other show within the past couple of weeks has been a real lifesaver. Honestly, honest to God. If I have the time to talk about it in future, I may. But thank you very, very much again, as always, Senor Garcia, for bringing me on to Talk and Ball. To Jacob, I owe everything to you for giving me my debut on United Spurs of America, and whatever time zone, whatever time of the day of the week, year of the month you want me on, I'll be there. Of that you can be assured. No problem for me.
You are literally a G. I love you, man. Thanks for being part of the club. We really love having you here, dude. And same for me though. It's funny that you said that it came for you at a good time. I started doing this when COVID like first happened and lockdowns and everything. And I've made so many great friends. I really credit like this community for helping me keep my mental health in check. You know what I mean? During that time when I couldn't see anybody or go anywhere. And so it's cool that this YouTube community has been so many different things for so many different people at different times when they've needed it. And that's what we like to do. That's what, that's why we're here. It's just to give everybody, a place to come and hang out and talk and have fun and not be too, the world's a pretty serious, gloomy place at times. So I like that here. It's pretty chill and yeah. So Chang, again, you keep saying thanks to us, but we'll just keep saying thanks to you because you're the real one, dude. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. We got lots of chats going on. But one thing, there was Jose. You sent me a couple of things that you. We haven't talked about Sarr's new contract yet. That's something that we got to talk about. I wonder if it's a shame. That injury is just and seeing him cry the way he did hurt me so much. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it won't affect his contract, so that's fine. He's already probably put pen to paper on that thing, and so the injury probably won't affect that, I would hope. But I don't know. Jose, you saw how hard he was crying whenever he was leaving the pitch. Do you think that? I mean, I don't know. I know that
there's different ways of looking at it, Colin. It could be he's got an injury. The shock of having that injury and knowing that the AFCON's around the corner, so it could have been that. Rather than any heavy duty injury, it could be, oh no, I'm going to be out of the AFCON.
Right, and I just scored and I'm in such great form right now.
It could be something. That's what I'm hoping it is more than anything.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't think anybody was near him when he went down. I don't even know whether it was an impact collision that he had earlier in the game. Because I'll tell you what, when he scored his goal. Did you see him slide?
I did. He kind of he didn't look.
He's awkward. It was such an awkward slide. Instead of sliding, he's hit the turf and sort of half come back up and then got back down again. So I'm not sure whether it's something that he did earlier. I'm not sure it's something I didn't see what made him go down like that. Do you see what I mean? So it could have been something that happened earlier. I'm hoping that he's scanned both for himself and not only for his ambitions for the AFCON, but for his mental state of mind and that. I'm hoping that it's not serious, is what I'm hoping.
Yeah, same here. And
but,
speaking of,
but the thing is, it's regardless of whatever the result would have been yesterday, they were still going to announce his 6-year deal. So the fact that we've secured him for 6 years, or we've got him on a longer term deal, is absolutely brilliant. We bought him in for whatever it was dirt cheap money, and a lot of people are comparing our young man, Mr. Sarr, to a young player that used to play for the chaps across the road who wore a number 4 for France and for Arsenal, and that's Vieira. A lot of people are liking him to Vieira. Now, if he can become half as good or 3/4 as good as Vieira, we have got a serious player on our hands.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and Chang and I were talking about how much better players in the midfield look whenever they're playing with Sarr. And it's because he does so much work. He'll run all day long. He doesn't really care about the glamorous part of it. You know what I mean? He's just there as part of, making this machine function. He's not the, he's not all about flicks and tricks and, like cute little moves, but he's effective. You know what I mean? He's just a very effective player. And I honestly think that he's part of why Bentan-core was able to come back from injury so soon and play as well as he did. I think having Sarr next to him or with him there in the midfield helped him out. Maybe I'm giving Sarr too much credit. I've done that before. I've been guilty of that before. But I still think that, because you can tell even why can't I think of his name right now? Even our other guy, the guy that we bought from for 30 million last summer. Bissouma. Yeah, thank you. He even makes Bissouma look better. And so, I don't know. I just think there's something about him. They must feel comfortable knowing that he's got everything kind of mocked up behind them, and they can get forward and play with a little more freedom. Is my best guess there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the way you got to look at it is, I've seen Scott M. Although I will never rate Vieira. Right. I'm saying that it's Sarr. He's been likened by a lot of people. It's not me, but a lot of people are likening Sarr to Vieira. And all I'm saying is, if he becomes half or 3/4 of the player Vieira was, then we do have a serious player on our hands. Don't get me wrong. Bentan-core walks into the team all day long before any of these midfielders. And I've said this and screamed this since the summer and beyond. Before that, Bentan-core is our number 1 midfielder. Whether you put him in a 6 or an 8, Bentan-core is, for better words of it, Bentan-core is the governor. The governor. Simple as.
You've been saying that since he was out. You've been saying he walked right back into the team. Yeah.
Bentan-core for me, if he has a good second half of the season, which I hope he does, then people will then say he's world class.
World class? You think he's already going to get that?
I think he's just there. He's just under world class at the moment, is my belief, my personal belief. And I've said this before. He needs a season or even half a season, plays football, dominates like he... Listen, before his first injury, he was dominating games. He was the one that was winning us the points with his pressing and his football and everything under Conte. He was the best player we had at Tottenham. In my eyes, he was superb. Injuries have come in, cut it short on that. But for me, if he stays fit second half of the season and he plays the majority of them games, he will then be, I reckon he'll be classed as world class.
I hope you're right. And he is amazing. He's the closest. I don't know. I see bits of him and of his game that remind me of Dembele. There were a couple of times yesterday where he had the ball in basically no man's land. There was nobody around him. He was being pressed, by opposition players. And he did such a good job at looking around and being able to just hold the ball up and hold players off of him. His strength is unbelievable, and I can't believe he was able to play so well after just 1 week of training. You're right. I'll say it, Jose. I think he will be classed as world class too if he can keep that up. What do you think, Cheng? Do you think that people will say that Bentan-core is world class if he could keep up this level for like maybe the second half of the season?
Bentan-core is really world class. Of that, there is no illusion as to just how good he is. I just want to highlight though his performance yesterday against Bournemouth, and also his I can't remember which match was it. He came back before he was injured by Matty Cash from Villa. Someone remind me which game was it. He made his return before he was unceremoniously.
Aston Villa is where he started, but he played a couple of substitute games where he got 10 minutes.
Correct.
But his first full start was Villa.
What I'm trying to allude to here is that if Bentan-core is going to reach those sort of levels that we've seen him single-handedly get us through to the Champions League under Conte when he took over from Nuno, I think it's very important that we have someone like Sarr beside him to do the running for him rather than to force Bentan-core to be doing the running so soon after returning from injury. It will be very interesting to see if Oliver Skip or even Højbjerg will be able to deputize even half as energetic and as robust as Pepe Sarr was the last couple of games he started for us. I think this coming Friday's FA Cup tie at home is going to be a big litmus test and also a watershed moment for Bentan-core, not only for this month but for the rest of the season. It will be very, very interesting to see who Big Ange is going to partner Bentan-core in midfield this Friday. And this is this is what I said earlier on in the beginning of the show about Richarlison and how form is temporary but class is permanent. Bentan-core's class is undoubted and it is world class. But whether or not he has the form to really hit the heights as what we saw the season before under Conte, that remains to be seen. Which is why I cannot wait to see him take to the pitch again on Friday in the FA Cup under the lights at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I would love Friday, following off what Chan said, I would love Friday if we played Bentan-core in the 6, Lo Celso in the 8, Kulu in the 10. That for me would be magnificent. And then play.
Will you say that again? I'm sorry, I was typing.
I'd like to see against Burnley. I'd like to see Bentan-core in the 6, Lo Celso in the 8, Kulu in the 10.
Okay.
And up front, Johnson, Richarlison, Hill. Let's not mess about. Let's not make too many changes. We want to win the FA Cup game. We've got to bear in mind we have an 8-day break after that till our next game against Manchester United. Let's go and win our FA Cup tie. End of story. Let's go and win it.
Sorry to interrupt you here, Senor Garcia, but interesting you should mention Lo Celso. Over on Twitter and also on social media like Facebook, it was just announced while we were having a show that Lo Celso has been named the player of the match against Bournemouth with 2 assists, 4 tackles, and 11 interceptions. So those are the statistics that Lo Celso chalked up prior to winning the official Man of the Match award for the game.
Those are elite numbers too.
Those are really good numbers for Lo Celso. And I know we have Madison to look forward to either at the end of this month or in February, but I really do hope Lo Celso will stay with us. I really do hope those Barcelona transfer rumors are just nothing but rumors, and I really can't wait to see the best of Lo Celso for the rest of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Lo Celso's really surprised me. But guys, Ash is here. Ash,
Everyone.
hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm actually really I had the best New Year. We won the match and then I went to the beach and we had a whole New Year's thing there. It was the best. So it was a great day for me.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. Well, very glad to have you here. Welcome in. As the banner says, welcome in, Ash, the newest Talk Ball member. Ash, always.
Are you tired, Ash?
Oh yeah, I'm exhausted. Every part of me hurts.
So you partied hard then.
Yeah.
I took it easy and watched a bunch of anime last night, and it was wonderful. Beth and I watched a bunch of nerdy anime, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It was awesome.
What anime did you watch?
Perfect.
Jujutsu Kaisen is the name.
I
No
love
wait.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Sorry.
It's
We
the
watched Chainsaw Man. I love JJK too, but we watched Chainsaw Man yesterday just because.
the first season?
Yeah, and I've read it all in the manga too, like what all is
Manga?
available.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man's a fun one, very strange. But yeah,
I love it.
me too. I'm so glad that you're into anime too. We got more to talk about later. But yeah, so glad you had a good time yesterday. Glad that everybody's safe and happy. So yeah, Ash, we're talking about injuries right now, and it's kind of sad. Did anybody here see what happened though to Veliz? Like, what did he do that caused the injury? I was setting up for a show last minute, and I didn't see the actual coming together or whatever happened. But like, what happened to Veliz? Jose, you probably know. It's your boy.
There was a ball. Hoiberg's gone down to the wing, and he's crossed the ball in. Did you not see Hill hit the crossbar from 2 yards?
Mm-mm.
He's hit the crossbar. Hill's hit the crossbar for 2 yards. In the same action, the ball's come off the bar, landed, and there was about 3 players there for Bournemouth and Veliz. They've all gone for the ball together type thing. And one of the players and Veliz, their legs collided, and Veliz went down. And he's gone down in agony, but then he's got back up. And then he tried to carry on playing the game, and it's just like, what are you doing? And then another ball. I mean, my stream cut off, but I've been told that Hoiberg, someone can correct me, but Hoiberg went through and he had an option of 2 people to pass it to, and instead of passing it to the person that wasn't injured, he passed it to a one-footed Veliz.
Good God, that doesn't surprise me.
But I didn't see it. Someone can educate me on that because I didn't see that. But that's what I've been told.
It's a shame. I wonder why he tried to soldier on like that. But
I think he knew that there were no more subs left, and so he thought that he didn't want to leave the team with 10 men down, like 1 man down, and so that's why he wanted to soldier on. But like, it was also his inexperience showing, because if he just laid down and let the Spurs medical team come in and treat them, at least that time would have gone and it would have sort of like played the match out. So I think that, but it's just he's a young lad, so he wanted to like soldier on.
Yeah, and like
it's admirable.
It is. It does. I want someone that wants to fight for the team, and I want somebody that wants to be there as bad as I want to be there. Like, I want to be on that pitch wearing that kit playing for this team. And so when I see the players out there care as much as like I feel like I care, it's always a good thing. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling to have players that like are proud to wear the shirt, want to play. I'm wondering, like, with how upset he was. But hold on. Oh my God, Scott's comment. I almost put it up. Turned it off after Sun scored the second goal and watched hockey. There you go, Scott. That's very Canadian of you, sir.
How do you pronounce this guy's name? Orisham.
I call him Orisham. I hope that's correct.
Right. That's, good afternoon, Orisham. But Mick Vickers is saying to me, Andrew will make wholesale changes. And then Mick Vickers is also saying, sorry, no messing about with the FA Cup tie. Strongest possible team, please, Ange. Mick, who do you think he's going to play? Because I would play the strongest team possible, regardless.
Would you play Son? Would you play Son tomorrow? He looks knackered.
Son can't play. Son's gone. That was the last game. Son's not playing Friday.
Boom. All right. Well, cool.
Son's not playing Friday. That's why I said that up front I would play Hill, Richarlison, and Johnson. And then in midfield, I'd play 6 Lolo, 8 Lo Celso, 10 Kulu. And at the back, you play the fullbacks that are our fullbacks. You play up Vicario in goal. No Forster, Vicario in goal. Play our fullbacks. And the only place that I would change is I put Dorrington and Phillips in at centre-backs. Give them their chance, because the rest of the team is strong enough to go and get goals. And I think that if you play the system that Ange wants, with 2 defenders that can play a high line and have got recovery speed, that then gives the confidence to the people further up the pitch to go and attack, because they know that you've got that recovery further back. I.e. like when we play with Romero and Van der Ven, the team looks more cohesive because they've got more trust in people going up the pitch.
Yeah, we're able to take more risks up towards the opponent's goal, because, you know, then if they get the ball back and then start a counterattack, we've got the players to take care of it. 100%. I
have a very quick question for Jose, if I may. Yeah. Based on your predicted lineup to face Burnley, since you did not mention either Davis, Dyer, or Højbjerg in the team, who would be your preferred captain of the day?
Lolo all day long.
Bentan-core.
All
Jose and I
day long.
agree.
Lolo commands.
Thank you for that.
He commands.
Thank you for that.
Everybody sees Lolo. Everybody sees what he's about. Everyone sees what he's like. He exudes that confidence. He never looks in trouble. And people look at people like that and think, wow, you know. And he would be, for me, he's the engine of the team. Lolo's got to be captain all day long.
Yeah. Ash, is that so? Yeah, that's who you said you would have also.
So Scott Lolo is Bentan-core.
Yeah. I don't know where that nickname came from, but I don't know. Interesting.
Right,
you guys...
can I ask a question? Have we got 2 shows tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ash, tell us all about your show.
So tomorrow we're going to do our now regular White Chart Lane, which is the Talking Ball and El Tel Cockerel multilingual show in which we speak Hindi and sometimes Punjabi and then English. And tomorrow's an interesting day because we have some Spurs fans on from India, a bunch of them, and one of them is related to me. So it's going to be an amazing show. I'm very excited for it. So
yes, having family on is fun.
And what can you tell us the times, Ash, that you're on tomorrow?
Oh yes, it's at 7:30 Indian time and 2 p.m. English time, and Central time is damn it, it's
8 o'clock now. Yeah, 8 a.m. Yes. You got it. You're awesome on your time zones. You got your time zones all figured out. But yeah, it's gonna be great. And then following that, Jose and I will have the normal daily show.
At what time is that, Colin?
That's going to be at 10:05 Central Time and 4:05 GMT.
Yeah, sorry,
right.
I just had to ask you to say that because no one ever streams at 5 past apart from Colin.
I have to do something to make myself stand out. You know, it's a special thing. You know, it's not everybody. Yeah, exactly. What if somebody starts at 2 and then they would have gone to them, but then they see us and they're like, oh, well, I like talking about, I don't know. It's, who knows? But again, everybody, please support all Spurs content creators. It's all a big family and we're all, you know, just having fun and hanging out. And so yeah, everybody, please slap a like and go subscribe to all the Spurs channels. You know, we're all good people. But yeah, somehow I got bigger on accident. Oops. But it feels weird. It feels really weird. Let me make everyone the same size. Boom. Okay. I don't like being the biggest. It was weird. But yeah. So guys, I don't know. I'm pretty much got everything covered. I mean, transfer window. There's going to be all kinds of rumors just flying about. I haven't really heard any new ones though. You know, just basically the same thing that we're in for a defender. Tobito's pretty much out the window, or Todibo. God, I always say that wrong. Whatever. And then Dragison's most likely coming in. I think that we will get the dude from Saudi Arabia, Jota. Yep, I think he's coming for sure. But I haven't really heard many other rumors. Remember back in the day, there were all the rumors for the Brentford guy.
Ivan Toney.
Yeah, Mr. Gambler Man. There were some links with him way earlier, but I don't think
if you're interested in any rumors, sorry to rudely interrupt you there, Mr. Colin, but if you're interested in any rumors, I'm just going to sign off here for this. I'm going to sign off with this rumor here. This tidbit here coming from Football Insider. According to Football Insider, Spurs are monitoring Wolves forward Wang Hee-chan.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah.
So according to this, club scouts have been very impressed since his role changed to a centre forward. And for the benefit of our viewers, Wang Hee-chan has now scored 10 goals and chalked up 3 assists in comparison to Son's 12 goals and 5 assists. So it would be very, very interesting to see just how much truth there is in the rumors that Spurs are actually actively monitoring Wolves forward Wang Hee-chan.
It just tells you if they take that form into the Asia Cup, South Korea have got potent strike force, haven't they?
Yeah,
definitely.
I'd be surprised if they don't win it. Honestly, I mean, the only other team that I think really stands a chance is Japan. I think Australia won simply because Ange was there and they were on a high. I see it either being Japan or South Korea. I mean, I know my country's in it. I should be supporting my country. I do support my country, but I know that I'm a realistic fan as well.
Or Sham's here saying too, Japan. Yeah. That was. I remember whenever the last time when Sonny needed to win the gold medal for his military exemption, Japan was the team. Big up, Leo. That he was. Oh, hey, you're having to go too, right, Chang? Did you say that you're going to sign off, or are you still good to stay?
I can stay on. But if I had to make a final statement, that would be it.
Gotcha.
Because
cool.
I'm just trying to just relax now and power down a bit.
Just relax. Get the batteries turned down. Get ready to recharge.
It's 2:18 in the morning, and Chan says he's powering down.
You're a different breed, Chang. You're a different breed. I love you, man. Scott M, though, I was talking about Ivan Toney. He said Toney wants Arsenal. I doubt he would come here unless everything else fell apart and it was his only option. Well, then I wouldn't want him if that was the case.
I don't think we'd pay £70 million for him. That's the thing. Did you?
He might be that good.
I mean, I don't want to steal people's thunder here, and I don't know whether you discussed this, but I've seen a lot on Twitter, X, or in a lot of comments, people saying that Fraudetta is 4 or 5 years into his £700 million rebuild, and they're 1 point ahead of Tottenham, and Ange's only been here 4 months.
Oh yeah, we haven't said anything about that yet, but I definitely think that we should. It's a good thing. Trust the process, right? I'm glad that our process is.
I'm striking the match.
Yeah.
Long may it continue. I hope that he stays forever and ever as Arsenal coach, and they never ever win something except for the dog.
Boom. They could. Yeah. I hope they win the championship. Maybe they can go down to the championship. They can win that, get promoted back, then get relegated again. That would be nice.
No, one relegation after another will be there.
There you go. And then we'll make a move back to Woolwich too. We'll get him out of our faces. But guys, yeah. I mean, so I guess if money wasn't an option and he did want to come here, would his previous troubles scare you off from Toney? Would his gambling stuff be enough to make you rethink that transfer? Anybody?
No, you're asking. For me,
I guess you.
Okay. For me, he's a Premiership-proven goal scorer. I think if you take away his indiscretions that have become apparent in the last 18 months, 18 months ago, everybody would have taken him and taken a punt on him, I think, or I believe 18 months ago. Since what's happened, I think teams are a bit more wary and may think there's baggage that comes with it. And so where 18 months ago people would have been jumping on the train, lots of them for him, I think that list is maybe slighter than what it was before, but with a lot of trepidation by clubs. There's a lot of background checks and noises that they will have to make in order to go through and bring them into their clubs.
It's a risk. I mean, it'll definitely be a slight risk.
He'll score goals. He'll score goals. He'll score goals. He'll continue to score goals. It's what comes with that, and that's what I think clubs are looking at now.
Especially with our club and how supposedly for years we've been looking for the players with the right attitudes and the right mindset and the right, you know what I mean? Maybe, but I mean, I don't know. We only know just the smallest bit, or at least I only know the smallest bit about what actually happened with him. You know what I mean? And his gambling problems. It could be a small thing, maybe that's being like overblown. I'm not really sure, but yeah.
I'll just throw it back to you before Ash and Chan can have a go on it. What team in the division at the moment has got the worst record at the moment?
I have to cheat and look. I don't know.
There's only one team that has 5 W's against their name for the last 5 games. There's only one team in the Premiership. Everybody in the last 5 games that's picked up at least 1 point. There's only one team that have lost at least the last 5 on the bounce. Do you want me to tell you?
Please do, yeah.
Brentford. Brentford haven't got Mbeumo's out injured for a while as well. Brentford, I don't think they're in a position to let Toney go anywhere in January, because without him, Mbeumo stepped up, but Mbeumo's now out of the team, and that's making Wissa look. I mean, because I think Wissa's a good player, but Wissa has not looked himself because he hasn't got Toney and he hasn't got Mbeumo. He's been forced to play up front with Neil Mopai and Lewis Potter, so it takes away the potency that Brentford have had. So I don't believe for 1 minute that Brentford would be even entertaining letting Toney go in January.
It would have to be a phenomenally big. It'd take a lot of money, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
What a relegation?
Do what?
And what you take a big gamble on taking a £70 million bid for him, and also the chance of relegation.
Yeah, they would have to have somebody else in mind to bring.
They're free falling. They are. I mean, I haven't looked at the league today, but they've got to be a few points above Luton.
Yeah.
I think they're near. I think they're just above Everton. So at the end of the day, I'm not sure whether they would like to let him go for any sort of money. I think the Premiership, staying in the Premiership, gets you more money than selling a player for 70 million.
Agreed. Full stop. But I don't know. Would you guys, Ash? Do you think that he was a player that would you take him at Spurs? Would you take him at Spurs? And does his gambling past make you wary of him? I don't really think it's a big deal, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's a big deal as well, because I think they've just cracked down hard on the gambling thing now. Before he got sort of I think he was the first sort of big penalty that we've seen for gambling in a while. Not match fixing, that sort of history is really bad, but just for just regular gambling, I think he's the first person that we've seen sort of penalized so hard. And then Tonali was the second really big case. So I don't think that he would risk his career by repeating it. And I don't think that he's the sort of player who's an addict. I think he was just sort of having fun gambling with his mates sort of thing. And, I think it was just sort of a laugh. So I do think Premier League proven striker beats everything else, unless he's done something that's illegal, or really, really horrible.
And I don't know what he was gambling on. Maybe it was just himself to score, or maybe he was betting on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was betting on himself, I think.
Yeah, and there's worse things you could do. I mean, as long as you're not betting on yourself to have a terrible match.
Yeah,
and
he never bet on his team losing or something like that. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see a problem with it. We all occasionally, put down a few bets here and there. As long as it's not a mental health issue or an addiction issue, I don't have a problem with it. And I also think that He's a really good striker, so it's a big opportunity to pass up if we do get him. But I do think that he'll go to Arsenal. I don't think it's happening for Spurs, and I really don't see us spending 70 million on anyone. Even if like the best striker on the planet came on the market for 70, 80 million, I don't think it's likely. But I still don't think Daniel Levy in January would spend 70 or 80 million. So
It kind
yeah,
of scares me if Arsenal do get him. You know what I mean? Like he is a good player, and Arsenal have kind of lacked in the goal scoring department. It is sort of scary to imagine an Arsenal with him there. I wish he wouldn't go to Arsenal.
That's true that Arsenal have lacked a bit. But I also think the way Arsenal play, people think it would suit him, but it wouldn't. Arsenal actually would do better with someone like Harry Kane, somebody who sort of comes in slightly deeper and supplies their wingmen like Saka and Martinelli, who are really good wingers who are not getting the supply they need to score. So I actually think that like a proper fox in the box sort of striker or someone who's tall. That's not who Arsenal need. Arsenal needs someone like Harry Kane or they need someone of that ilk.
Yeah,
So
I don't even know if he would be good for us. Really, you know what I mean? Like
no,
you
I
were
think he
talking
would
about.
be good for us. He would be good for us. I think he just needs to be in the box and he just needs to have hold up play. Those are two things he does really well. So I think he'd be really good for us. He'd be more efficient than Richarlison.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And then Chang, we'll throw it to you. Ash gave an awesome answer, by the way. You obviously watch more Arsenal than me. You very educated on when you speak football, Ash. So we appreciate that 100%. You're awesome. Chang, though, what would you say? Does his gambling? I mean, would that be a reason for you not to bring him into the squad? I mean, would you pass on him just for his previous problems, or do you think that's forgivable, one-off?
For me, as far as gambling and any kind of other addiction, whether it's liquor or any kind of vices that may have a detrimental effect on not only a footballer, but any person's career in life, just so long as they have learned their lesson and they've had help and they haven't relapsed into this sort of vices that have left a very bad reputation on their careers. As long as Big Ange himself trusts in these sort of players, and he is willing to give players like Ivan Toney or Sandro Tonali or any of these other players who have this gambling afflictions about them, as long as the manager trusts in them and feels that they are worthy of being brought into the squad, then in Big Entry trust. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're 100% right. In Big Entry trust. And
we've got a question here, mate. Hold on.
Yeah. Gamecock, what's up, buddy? Says, hello, what 3 positions do you think we need to improve this window? I feel right central defender, left back, and a left winger. Those are all good shots. I mean, after Destiny, we don't really have anybody on the left. We've been playing Emerson everywhere, but we've been playing Emerson over there at times. I know we got Ben Davis, but he's kind of needed in the middle right now. So yeah, the positions that you mentioned, Gamecock, are ones that I would agree with completely. It would be cool if the left winger could kind of play across the front, and we could have kind of maybe an auxiliary, like another striker option there too, like when we got the left winger. I don't know if Jota can play striker at all, if he's ever played any kind of like a false 9 or anything like that. But hopefully he'll be able to kind of interchange a little bit, because we do see a bit of that now with our attacking players. But yeah, and of course we need a center back. So yeah, those 3 positions make a lot of sense to me. I can't really see any. Yeah, I can't really argue that. Do you guys agree? Let's go Chang next. Sleepy Chang.
Okay. Looking at the suggestions, I would say a right center defender might might just suit the bill for Radu Draguzin. Although, as far as the left back is concerned, it's very easy to forget that we still have Ryan Sessegnon on the books.
I literally
on
just
top of,
did. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, on top
I
of
was gonna say the same thing.
Udogi, who's doing a fantastic job there, and Ben Davies, who can still fill in the role, although I would really use him sparingly in that position, as we already seen what a catastrophe he was away at Fulham in the League Cup. But as far as a left back is concerned, assuming that there are no further setbacks to Ryan Sessegnon's recovery, a left back might not be the priority right now, unless we have a long-term injury and there are question marks as to whether Ryan Sessegnon is able to make a full recovery and step up to the plate. Other than that, if you talk about improvements to our squad this window, Radu Draguzin will be one of them for right centre defender, maybe a midfielder if Pierre-Emile Højbjerg leaves. I hope that Giovanni Lo Celso will not entertain the rumors of Barcelona trying to go in for him. And
oh God, he would love to go to Barcelona.
Yeah, and preferably also a centre forward, assuming that Veliz will be out for the next maybe month or so, depending on just how serious is his Achilles tear. So yeah, it's going to be a defender, a midfielder, and maybe a centre forward for me.
All right, yeah, the center forward is a good idea. We could definitely use another center forward, especially if we're bringing back Dane Scarlett and expecting him to perform. That worries me. But Ash, same question to you, of course. What three positions?
I actually think that not just Ryan Sessegnon, we also have Reguilon, who's off on loan and will be back.
Yeah.
We have so many bad left backs that we have to get rid of. Not bad. Davies, I would categorize as useful. But you know what I mean, right? We have a lot of deadwood at that position. So we would need to sort of give some of those away before we get someone, I think, especially knowing Levy. But I actually think we need a midfielder. We need somebody who's a backup to Maddison, unless Lo Celso chooses to say, and we see him as the Maddison backup. I thought he did pretty well against, because we have Kulu as well who can play that role, and Lo Celso. So if we have those two, then we don't need someone. But and Bentan-core will be back fit. So then after that, we'll have Bissouma, Bentan-core. We'll be covered on the 6 and the 8 and the 10. But if Ange doesn't trust Gio, and he hasn't really proved that he does, then I would suggest that we send Gio off somewhere where his talents will be useful, like the La Liga, and get someone else in who has that creative type role, an Eriksen, Maddison, that sort of a player. So I'd actually like to see that along with a left winger and a centre back. If we do get a left back, I'd like to see all the deadwood gone as well, because all of our deadwood is just Ryan Sessegnon. I can't stand the boy, because I want him to succeed so badly, but he gets injured so easily. I swear it's the worst. And Lo Celso's not so far behind when his injury record is concerned. I want players who are available, but not Højbjerg. Who are I like the fact that Højbjerg, when you think of the player that will always be fit and always be available for selection, who is that? That's always Højbjerg. I'd like a player like that, but who's not Højbjerg.
Who's better on the ball, who is a better passer of the ball. Yeah, no, 100%. But man, I don't think it'll happen, but if we had to pick a player to play Friday, Højbjerg or Skip, I would so much rather it be Højbjerg. I know we're kind of changing the subject here, but God, every time Skip comes on the pitch, I'm just like, no, what are we gonna do? Because he's just basically taking up a spot. I mean, he I don't know, was it yesterday that there were like 4 undercooked passes where he would just pass to someone and there wouldn't even be enough on it, and you know what I mean? It would just get picked off. I mean, simple things like that. And we all know how good he did at Norwich. I don't know how he's regressed so much, or if he's regressed at all. Maybe it's just the level of going from the Championship to the Premier League, but he was in the team that got automatic promotion from the Championship. So it's not even like they were a bad team in the Championship. I don't know. Very strange to me how he's fallen off so badly. But he just doesn't seem like he does anything like very well. He does everything like okay, but nothing like extraordinarily well. So even though I want Højbjerg to go, he is better than Skip. And if one of them were to play Friday, I'd rather be Højbjerg. But Gamecock, I totally agree with you on your three positions there.
And what about me?
Well, what about you? What do you got to say?
Right. So I'm bringing in, if it's the players that we've been linked with now, I'm bringing in 2 centre-backs. I'm bringing in Dragusin and I'm bringing in Todibo. Then I sell Højbjerg to Juventus, part exchange for Cambiasso at left-back and Illing Jr. at left wing on a double
now
deal.
You're talking, Jose.
Right. Okay, so that's a double deal because of the money that's involved. It'll be very similar. Then I would get rid of Reguilon and Sessegnon in this window. If I bring Cambiasso in, then to shove them out. And like that, you move the decks around in this winter transfer window.
That'd be sweet. They need you on the team, man. They need you.
Please all remember as well that with deals that are done nowadays, right, when we're talking about millions and millions of pounds, I saw Danny put a comment earlier, and I spoke about this on Saturday. So what happens is we bought Bentan-core in, and that's not only Bentan-core, it's a lot of other players that we've all brought into the club, right? We're not paying outright for these players straight away. We're paying over a period of time. So we don't have to have 120 million to spend in one window. We can do it over the 4 or 5 years, whatever the contracted deal is, a bit like other clubs are doing. We're doing that as well. There's no way that we paid outright for Romero. We've probably done that in installments. We've done it with Bentan-core. We can do it with other players as well. We don't have to have millions and millions of pounds. We can spend 120 million pounds we can purchase players for up to 120 million pounds and over the next 5 years only pay 24 million pounds a season for them. Because as long as you put it and you declare it in your books for the end of year for your bottom line, that's how that people work companies. That's how they work. So there's no reason why people saying we're skint and stuff like that. We can go out and get players. We just need the bollocks and the cojones to go out and do it. End of story.
Wait, Scott M says to make Jose our director of football right now, and that you just need to add the top striker that you're bringing in. If you were to bring in a striker, so I know that's not one of the 3 positions you chose, but if you were to pick a striker, what striker would you want out of who's currently available?
There's no one available, is there?
I guess that one Jimenez guy, right? Isn't he?
Everyone we're talking about, nobody's available, because if we were going to spend money on a player, if we wanted to spend money on a player, right?
Yes.
The player that I would bring in with proven Premiership ability, and we could buy him, and we were prepared to spend the money. I'll bring in Ollie Watkins from Villa.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a great shout. That's a really great shout. I have a lot of time for Watkins. I thought that he was awesome. It looks like I expected him to be right up there with Kane, like almost. He was looking so good for a while. Obviously, he hasn't hit those heights, but yeah, that's a really good shout. And it might even be one of those things where with a better supporting cast, that he looks better. You know what I mean? But were you listening at the beginning, Jose, when we talked about Berahino? Berahino, is that how you pronounce that dude's name?
Saido Berahino.
Yeah, do you remember that? We were just thinking we went down memory lane earlier. We talked about Leandro Di Maio, or however you pronounce that Brazilian.
Is he 34 still playing in Japan or something now?
That is correct. 100% correct. And then
Saido Berahino, did he do it just at Tottenham or did he do it elsewhere as well? Where he down tools and travelled down to the Did he do it at 2 clubs? He done it with Tottenham and he done it with another club as well, didn't he?
I don't know about the other one, but I do know for sure.
I think it was either Palace, if memory serves me right, it was either Palace and West Brom or Stoke. I think it was Stoke City and
Berahino wanted to come to Tottenham. Tottenham didn't buy him, and then he drove down from his club to another club, and I think the club was in London. It was either
correct. It was a London-based club. It was definitely a London-based. It was
Crystal Palace or QPR at the time, something like that. He drove down to the club and stayed outside their stadium, trying to force a move.
That's not how you do it. That doesn't work. Interesting. I don't know what he's up to. I'm gonna Google and see what he's doing right now.
He's doing absolutely nothing. I think he's playing for a team lower down in the English league, League One or League Two.
Professional football who plays as a striker for Cypriot First Division club AEL Limassol and captains the Burundi
national team.
Yeah.
So who was he playing before Limassol? Who did he play for?
Let me find out here. Club career.
If he's playing for Limassol, he's only just gone there because he was playing in the first or second division.
So it looks like club careers. Well, hold on. Actually, right now it looks like he's actually returned. He returned to England just recently, and he plays for Sheffield Wednesday.
There you go.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday.
We can't afford him, but I'd have Evan Ferguson.
Oh my God, good shout. Evan Ferguson is legit.
Andres has made a good shot here as well. Look at that. Elise. Brilliant player. I rate Elise higher than Eze.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. They're both wonderful players. And
Eze has a hamstring problem all the time, and I don't want another player with hamstring injuries. I just can't. My heart can't deal with it anymore. So no more hamstrings.
I get that. I still am of the opinion that Brennan Johnson's going to come good. I don't think that Postecoglou would have pushed so hard for the kid if he really didn't see something in him and didn't think he could make it happen. I think part of what's happening with Brennan Johnson is that he's trying too hard, which is a pretty common thing when you make a step up. He's trying to do a lot like himself and show, why we purchased him, when in reality he just kind of needs to relax, play his game, try to get other players involved, not try to do so much himself. But yeah, I honestly, I think that the team saw and sees Sonny as like kind of aging out. And I know that everyone hates to talk about that. I know he's only like 31. I know that he's not old. 32. See, he's the same age as me. Me and Sonny are the same age. Yes. And so I think Brennan Johnson is literally like seen as like the successor to him and Son. And I don't know if he'll ever make it to that level, but we got to remember when Son first came, he wasn't like setting the league on fire. You know what I mean? So we got to give Brennan Johnson some time, but I still think he'll come good. And by the way, Jose, those churros look awesome. Everyone's always eating, and I'm always like, what?
It's the first time they've made them. They're lovely.
So you got a churro maker? Does it like spin around and stuff? Is that how?
I don't know. I'll just let them go with it.
You're just like, I see them.
You can make them with. So I have a recipe where you can make them with hand, like from scratch, and then you need a maker to do them. I just do them.
Yeah, like, but to get them looking like churros with the edges and all that.
In India, we have something called chakli. So I put it in one of our chakli makers and I turned it, and it comes out exactly the same.
There you go.
What? Send me your recipe. If you could. That sounds awesome. David Clark,
it's a utensil. Like it's a thing that we have. Like
so I'll have to. I'll have to Amazon one probably. I can probably do that. David Clark from Leicester is here. Sarr goes off injured. Bentan-core goes off after 60 minutes, and we are still only 1-0 up. We have two fullbacks playing center back. We finished with 10 men, yet Spurs fans are still moaning. That is David Clark is awesome. By the way, David, really appreciate you. And then Mom says, let Chang go to sleep. Going into
my
mom
God,
mode.
he's withering before our eyes.
I know. He's gotta get up in just a couple hours. Chang, you go get some sleep, bro. You get some sleep, Chang. I feel so bad keeping you awake, my man.
I'll be on as long as you're on. That is my commitment to talk and ball.
Wow, that is my heart. You're such a good guy. I think that means we got to end and let Chang go to bed. But we got Sean. We got my boy Sean in the chat. Big up, Sean. Happy New Year, Sean. Happy New Year to everybody. I know we've already said that, but if there's anybody else in here that wasn't here before, Happy New Year. Also, please, guys, visit Eltel Cockerell. I'm going to get the link. Why don't I have that here? YouTube. But yeah, so this is dual streamed right now to both Talking Ball and Eltel Cockerell, the channel that Jose runs. And so let me get that link up for you.
You asked the question, so I suppose to finish the show off, we might as well ask the question that you asked about half an hour, 45 minutes ago. you asked for predictions for Friday's game against Burnley, and we went and started talking about the whole world. So if we can rein it back in, we'll start with ladies first. Ash, what are your predictions for Friday? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? What would you like the lineup to be, and stuff like that?
Well, I think with centre backs, we don't really have an option. Like with our back line, we don't really have an option. It's just going to be the same because there's no depth there. Actually, with the midfield also, I think with the midfield, preserve Bentan-core, play Højbjerg or skip whichever one that Ange prefers. I would go for Højbjerg. And then I think for Burnley, as in an FA Cup, he's perfectly adequate. And then put Sarr is injured as well. Play both Skip and Højbjerg. Let's see how it goes. Put Lo Celso in the 10. And then the front line, I would say play Hill on the left. I think he's been all right when he's come on in both games. So give him a chance to see before we sell him in January. So put Hill in there and everyone else remains the same, Richarlison and Johnson.
Boom. Jose is going to really hard disagree with you there on your midfield selection. Yeah. But no, I think that's a good idea. And I mean, with the injuries that we've got, if God forbid, I know Burnley aren't the team they used to be that would just beat you up and stomp all over you, but
I can't see Bentan-core injured. I just can't. I need to, like, I want Ange, like, he should be wrapped in cotton wool and brought out just to like pray at.
Just to get everybody hyped up, just to show us his face. No, I agree. We would be really up a creek without a paddle if he got injured again. So no, that makes a lot of sense to me. So we've got Ash's answer of. Oh wait, you didn't give us a score prediction though. What do you think? Who do you think's gonna?
Yes, I think 3-1 Spurs.
Boom, 3-1 Spurs. I love it. That's a good scoreline. All right, Mr. Sleepy Chang. I think you might be muted, brother.
Yep, sorry about that. Just only noticed that. Okay, so for my predicted lineup, I think my lineup is very similar to Ash. The only change I will make to Ash, the prediction by Ash is that I would very much like to see Kulusevski back out wide, whether it's on the left or the right, that will be up to Big Ange. I still wouldn't trust Bryan Hill to start just yet.
Oh, I forgot about Kulu. Thanks, Chang.
Yeah. Of course, Richarlison will definitely keep his spot up top, as will Brennan Johnson. As for our centre-back pairing, I've actually taken into account Jose's prediction that either Dorrington or Ashley Phillips will be given a debut. If so, I would very much like to see a centre-back pairing of Ben Davies and Ashley Phillips at centre-back. And as for the fullbacks, it's as they were for Porro and Udogie. For our midfield now, the midfield is a bit of a conundrum because I would definitely want to give Lo Celso another start for himself, seeing as how he did so well against Bournemouth. The only question now is who's going to partner Højbjerg in midfield. I think it's got to be Skip Højbjerg and Lo Celso in midfield, and up top is Kulusevski, Richarlison, and Johnson. And for the back four, it's going to be just Udogie, Porro on the wing backs, and Ashley Phillips and Ben Davies in centre back.
I actually really like that.
Vicario and in goal as well.
I like that a lot. Yeah,
Colin.
That's an amazing lineup.
Oh, and my scoreline prediction will be a scrappy 2-1 win for Spurs in normal regular time.
Boom. I hope you're right. I hope it doesn't go to penalties. Oh my God, I don't want penalties. Okay, but yeah. So
can I have a go?
Yeah, of course.
Right, Ange, please listen to me. Vicario in goal.
Oh, he has to. He has to start. He has to
Foster?
start.
Vicario in goal. Vicario in
Please,
goal.
please, Vicario, please.
Pedro Porro at right back. Arthur Dorrington. Ashley Phillips. Destiny Adogi. Bentan-core. Lo Celso. Kulu or Donnelly. And wide, it's either going to be Hill, Richarlison, and Johnson, or if Donnelly plays a 10, you play Johnson, Richarlison, Kulu. Right?
That can be sweet too. Yeah.
Burnley. Let's face facts. Burnley are putting all their eggs into staying in the Premiership. Luton have built a bit of a gap between. I can't remember. It's 3 or 4 points gap between themselves now and Burnley. And Luton are within touching distance of Everton and Brentford and teams like that. They're like a point or 2 points behind them. So I think Burnley are concentrating on the league because they want to stay in the Premiership. So I think, if anything, the person who makes the most changes will be Vincent Kompany with Burnley. If we pick the team that I've suggested, I have no doubt whatsoever we come out as 5-0 winners.
5-0 winners, man.
Yeah. If you're playing your boys in their positions,
mic drop.
if you're doing that, it's a 5-0 victory. End of. Simple.
Hey, David Clark's got it right here. He's made it even more simple. He says his Spurs starting 11 will all be players with squad numbers, none of them suspended or at tournaments, and will all have white shirts on.
True. I'll go along with that as well.
So yeah, I think he's got it right. And then I liked.
Colin, what's yours then? You haven't given us your predictions and lineup and all that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I would have said that I wanted Bentan-core to start until Ash made the point about him being injured and how Sarr is already injured and how we're dropping like flies all over the place.
But can I counter Ash a minute, right? The game after the Burnley game is Manchester United.
2 weeks away, right?
Yeah. Well, it'll be 8 days, eight days or whatever after the game. I think we play on a Friday night and then we play the following Saturday, right? So to me, you want Bentan-core in your midfield for Man United, but you want a fit Bentan-core there. And the only way you can get fit is by playing games. I mean, let's roll back to when Bentan-core came back from his ACL. He played however many minutes coming on as a sub. Then some more minutes as coming on a sub, and then he started the game against Villa. Okay, he got injured to a freak tackle, and it was a totally different injury to what he'd had, right? And it took him out of the game. If you don't play Bentan-core on Friday, even for 60 minutes, if you don't play with him, then we will suffer for him playing against Man United because I don't think he'll have the fitness in him. So that's the only reason why I'd start Bentan-core, is to get his sharpness up in preparation for Man United. I wouldn't take risks. I'm with Ash. I wouldn't take risks. So I'm with you, Ash, on that. But I would give him minutes to improve his fitness for Man United.
I think it depends on the weather also. If it's hailing and it's raining and the chances of slipping are high, then I don't want him playing like it was in the previous game. As long as the weather is all right, I'm all right with him playing because I love watching him play. He's one of my favorite Spurs players. So, I mean, all of us, right? I mean, I don't think anyone has a bad word to say about Ben.
I'm gonna get my phone out and looking for the weather forecast for Friday. So bear with me.
Yes. I was going to ask you guys too. So those hailstones that were falling like in the match, do you think, I mean, I'd say they were like this big, probably, not huge, but how big would those hailstones have had to be for them to call off the match, do you think? I mean, would they ever? Like, you could get hurt. Hailstones really hurt.
English football.
Yeah. So Chang, do you think they'd ever cancel a game because of hail? I don't know. I can't decide.
Well, I'm fortunate to have never ever experienced hail over here.
What? No way.
But yeah, no, I've never once experienced hail over in Southeast Asia. But I would imagine from what I've seen from movies and TV shows and the few matches which I've seen hail, anything bigger than the size of a golf ball, I would deem to be dangerous. If you talk in terms of hail, anything larger than the size of a golf ball, because you must understand that hail is still predominantly made up of water, or rather liquid, and the density of liquid as it's falling from the sky because of gravity and also as momentum acceleration, it's going to cause quite serious damage if it's anything larger than the size of a golf ball or a ping pong ball. So yeah, I mean, again, there is a reason why there are officials who monitor things like the weather and also crowd control and other factors beyond the actual match itself, as to whether a match should carry on. So I have absolutely no problems with the meteorological department. As long as they feel that it is still safe to continue, by all means, please do. But if at any stage a match should experience torrential downpour or heavy snowfall or even excessive hail, then by all means it should be called off or even suspended.
Okay, so the weather forecast for Friday is London is due to be at a maximum of 6 degrees on Friday.
Yikes.
A minimum of 3, a maximum of 6, but no rain forecast Friday or Saturday.
Sweet. Well, that's good. That's good. Jose, I was asking them while you were looking that up about hail, because that game was the first game I really remember seeing like a miniature little hailstorm happen. Would there be ever precedent for them to call off a match due to hail? Has that ever happened that you know?
No. If
there is a snow, like Burnley versus Spurs was postponed because of heavy snow, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Snow, because how doesn't settle, how falls, and then when it falls, it then goes into water. You know, over a period of minutes, it turns into water. Where snow will lay there, and snow will fall on top of it and carry on, and it will build up the layers and that. How does it
lines? Yeah. But hail hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, especially if it's the size of stones.
and Chang told us that he's never witnessed hail before. So someday, Chang, bring you to the Midwest. You can come visit.
No, it's not worth experiencing. It's a terrible. Snow is great. Hail's terrible.
I was driving one time and a huge hailstorm happened, and I was just literally like, "Oh my God, please don't break my windshield! Please don't break my windshield!" And it didn't.
It's happened to me. Like in Delhi. So I worked in Delhi for a really long time, and you get these huge golf ball size hailstorms in Delhi, especially in Jan Feb. And I was driving, and they crashed into my windshield. I swear, I nearly crashed into the car ahead of me. It was scary.
It comes out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere too. Yeah.
The biggest hailstorm I've ever seen is on Superman.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've watched. I don't know if I've
Superman, the original with Christopher Reeves back in the late 70s. There was a hailstorm.
The red underwear metal joke. Superman.
Yeah. Yes. I'm Googling this right now so that I can not be dumb.
It's the one where he lifts the Eiffel Tower and all that. It's the first one, the original Superman film. That was a hailstorm.
I'll have to check it
that
out.
was best Superman film, I think.
Yeah, it was. It's the original.
I'll have to check it out. I'll definitely have to check it out. So yeah, we've got pretty much. I think we've got pretty much everything, Chang, that I wanted to talk about yesterday's match. Got pretty much everything done, and again, I want to thank you for joining me, Chang. I want to thank Jose for coming, even though you don't feel good. And then Ash jumped in too. We got the whole gang. We got the whole crew together. So thank you, everybody.
North America, Europe, Malaysia, India. What else do you need? You've got everywhere. The world is covered on this screen. You got it.
And I just want to thank you guys, all you guys, for making this such an awesome, fun. I don't know. This is a really cool group. I really like. My mom always says she likes this little corner of YouTube, and so do I. So thank you guys for helping. Thanks to everyone in the chat, of course, for helping to make this. To make this so awesome. Elias is in the house. Big up, Elias. Big up, my friend. And he's saying hail is terrible. Destroyed our farms in Pakistan a couple of years back. Jesus, man. Yeah. Sorry that happened. I hope everything is okay. But yeah. So guys, that's us. We've looked towards Burnley. Jose, can you think of anything I forgot?
Just Ash is on tomorrow.
Everybody, please.
2 o'clock GMT, 8 o'clock Central.
Yep.
19:30 Indian time. Her show White Chat Lane, and she has guests. I think are they all from Mumbai guests?
Yeah, technically they're all from Mumbai, but my brother now lives in Bangalore.
Okay, well, I'm going to say it'll be Ash and her Mumbai guests. So please watch Ash tomorrow. Tune in here tomorrow and watch Ash tomorrow, and then we'll be back on at our usual time, which is Colin.
It's going to be 4:05 p.m. GMT.
Because Colin likes going at 5 past the hour.
Because I like it. Oh, y'all people.
He likes it, y'all.
Yep.
Right, guys, and Chan.
Oh, y'all.
Oh, y'all. Yep, exactly. Thank you.
Chan, thank you very much. It's been brilliant having you on.
Chang, you're the man.
As always. And Ash, as always, thank you very much. You two, absolutely fantastic. We need to do a lot more with you two because you're brilliant and you bring smiles to everybody's faces with your words of wisdom and your knowledge of the game. So thank
100%,
you.
100%.
And then I'd like to thank everybody in the chat as well for participating, for liking, maybe subscribing. Listen, after the videos, give us put a comment and let us know, what your thoughts are on that. We love to listen to all of you.
Absolutely. And I just want to throw this up. Thanks to all, both guests and in the chat. And I think I'm going to play us out with our song. I'll play it every day till he's back. Every day till we have him. So any last words before we jump out?
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
In Ange we trust.
In Ange we trust. 3, 2. My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.